Disappointing earnings reports roll in. The Dow down 367 points at the closing bell, but that's an improvement of session lows that were more than 500. America is listening to Fox News.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
You don't have to live in Vermont to ask the state to help you die. Governor Phil Scott signing a bill that removes the residency requirement for medically assisted suicides of the terminally ill, the first state in the nation to do that.
Vermont is one of 10 states that allow medically assisted suicide for terminally ill patients, including Oregon, which agreed to stop enforcing its residency requirement last year after a court settlement. Critics argue ditching the requirement puts states at risk of becoming assisted suicide tourism destinations, while reps for the nonprofit advocacy organization Compassion and Choices say a state border shouldn't determine if you die peacefully or in agony, arguing patients routinely travel to other states to utilize the best health care options.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin, one of the now former Memphis police officers investigated for the traffic stop beating of Tyree Nichols, will not be charged in his death. Prosecutors say Preston Hemphill was there for the initial stop, but not the second location where 5 officers beat Nichols, and he is expected to testify in the murder trial of the others. A tech giant that cut jobs this year may lean on AI in the not-too-distant future.
IBM CEO Arvind Krishna revealing in an interview with Bloomberg that his company is looking into the use of artificial intelligence to replace human workers in back-office positions and departments like human resources. Krishna says these non-customer-facing roles make up 26,000 positions at IBM, adding, quote, "I could easily see 30% of that getting replaced by AI and automation over a 5-year period." Krishna's remarks come after IBM announced layoffs in January that would affect nearly 4,000 positions. A spokesman for IBM says they are still actively hiring. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Recapping Wall Street, awaiting the Fed decision tomorrow on interest rates. The Dow down 367, but that's off session lows. The S&P and the NASDAQ also dropping more than 1%. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger licking good.
Your big business dreams mean you should be using the best tools. At Docomo Pacific, you get the best technology at the best value. Visit business.docomopacific.com to get an instant quote. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Half a day and good morning, Guam at 6:06 on Wednesday, the 3rd of May. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. Former MMA fighter 38-year-old Joseph Baby Joe Timanglo and his brother 40-year-old Kelly Timanglo were accused of threatening to kill a man over money they say he owed him. The man reported the incident to police in January of last year, claiming that the brothers came to his Manila residence telling him he owed them $10,000 for a loss of merchandise for Kelly Time and Glow's business. The man told officers he was never a business partner or employee of the company. Joseph Time and Glow told the man that if he didn't pay up, they would come back and take care of him, which the man interpreted to mean that the brothers would severely injure or kill him. The brothers were also accused of attacking a woman known to them several times this year. Kelly Time and Glow was charged with family violence and resisting arrest and was released on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. Joseph Time and Glow, who was on pretrial release in a 2020 case involving illegal drug and weapons possession, was charged with terrorizing with a notice of a felony on felony release and assault. And now that the Eagles field lease is dead, Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson is weighing in to clarify what he says was a bit of incorrect information. Many senators questioned whether it was the military getting the better end of the deal of the lease and the new medical complex. Nicholson recently released a lengthy statement in response. He says the intended lease was for a civilian hospital, not a military one, to replace GMH. He says that even today, military personnel and their family members are sent to civilian medical facilities for 4,000 times a year, and military health care pays for the coverage. Nicholson also addressed the $10 million payment senators had questioned, saying the Navy is mandated by federal law to receive fair market value for a lease. He concluded his letter by saying the Navy's commitment to net negative excess land transfers continues. More than 600 acres have been turned over and another 115 are in process. Eagles Field will be developed to support other defense mission requirements. We'll have more news after this. GMH officials say the hospital's network is 99.1% online. The hospital board of trustees met last week to discuss recent network issues and the possibility of patient information being leaked. Chief Technology Officer Frank Lujan says systems have been mostly stable and operational for the past week. He adds that the other 1% is that systems are not running 24/7. He hopes to uncover those systems to get them back online. Lujan says from a network standpoint, there are still some minor hardware issues his team is trying to address. Associate Administrator of Operations William Kondo says the hospital has a long way to go in its long-term plan to significantly upgrade the network, adding that a grant application for $1.5 million was submitted. He adds that if the money doesn't come through, GMH will have to find an alternative source of funding. And General Mills has announced a voluntary national recall of 2, 5, and 10-pound bags of its gold medal unbleached and bleached all-purpose flour with a better if used by date of March 27 and March 28, 2024. All other types of gold medal flour are not affected. The recall is being issued for the potential presence of Salmonella infantis. Consumers are asked to dispose of the product affected by this recall and to call General Mills Consumer Relations. Guidance from the FDA and the CDC warns that consumers should refrain from consuming any raw products made with flour. Salmonella is killed by heat through cooking. Healthy persons affected with the bacteria often experience nausea, diarrhea, fever, and abdominal pains. The UPC codes and the General Mills 800 number can be found on PDN's website, guampdn.com. And those are your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
So who's eating all the raw dough that they're worried about?
Isn't that you?
Yeah, I'm just, they've got the thing and they're saying, okay, there might be some salmonella in this. So, but the heat of the cooking and the frying and the baking and all that should kill the salmonella, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. It's the gluten, man. Yeah. The gluten will get you.
I don't know. I mean, we're talking explosive diarrhea. What exactly is going to happen if I have too much of that stuff? Well, we'll work on all of that. It's 6:11 in the morning. Let me just take a quick look at what's happening in the weather for Wednesday, she said? All right, here it comes. Mostly sunny today. Yay. Highs near 87 degrees. Yay. East winds out of the northeast. East-northeast winds 7 to 15 miles an hour, gusting as high as about 23. Partly cloudy skies this evening. Mostly sunny again tomorrow with highs around 87 degrees. That's not the lowest it's going to get. We've got the heat index that's going to notch things up to about 94 degrees over the next couple of days. Mostly sunny in the forecast for Friday as well. Warm, sunny days here on Guam. Doesn't get any better than this, kids. Heat index, like I said, 94, 20% chance of rain. Just some isolated showers going to be falling on us. Rip current warnings. Eastern side of the island might be experiencing some of those, so be very careful. If you are on the waters, you should just be careful out there. Just kind of anyway. Never turn your back on a Guam sunset and never turn your back on the ocean. Sun rise this morning was at 5:59. Sunset tonight's going to be at 6:37. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on The Point.
Join us on May 12th as we host our annual PBS Guam Pledge Drive. Tune in and show your support for quality, educational, and entertaining programming. Your contributions help us continue to bring you thought-provoking documentaries, captivating cultural programs, and engaging children's shows. So tune in to PBS Guam Friday, May 12th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and pledge your support to help us keep Guam enriched, inspired, and entertained. Viva!
Are you looking for a quick, easy, and affordable way to get the legal documents you need? It's Pro Se 101. Pro Se 101 allows you to create legally binding documents for a variety of situations without spending a fortune. Guardianship creation, name changes, power of attorneys, wills, trusts, and more. Call 800-303-9240 to get the help you need. That's 800-303-9240 or visit PROSE101.com. Don't waste time or money.
6:13 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Portions brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Did somebody intercept my printing? Did somebody intercept my print job this morning? Every once in a while that happens, because there's a bunch of us that are doing one kind of prep or another here, and so sometimes I've got paperwork that in my stack of printouts that I'm not sure if I put in there. I was reading this. There was a story that I'd printed out about the Royal Australian Air Force has apparently dumped a whole bunch of FA-18 Hornets. The headline reads, ex-RAAF FA-18 Hornets left to rust in Guam and are now useless, according to defense expert Malcolm Davis. And there's a picture of these Hornets kind of all jig-jagged in a warehouse up there.
Did you say Guam?
Yeah.
What the heck?
We got Hornets here. It's like Top Gun Maverick or something like that.
Let's buy that then, Governor Lou.
Let's say no. I think everybody.
We need them.
Every village should get one. I don't know how many they've got. It's like the THAAD systems.
We train every mayor, right?
It's to fly up on one of these things
and protect us.
That's it. Top Gun, Top Guam. All right. So and then it goes to another page. I'm not sure if it's the same website, but it goes to another page. Says back in February, America's attention was captured by multiple UFOs being tracked and intercepted by the U.S. Air Force. Apparently they've found another balloon.
Nice. What color was it?
I don't know. I'm thinking of a couple of girls that are known balloon smugglers. Is there a third? Is there yet another one out there? 2 weeks ago, the Pentagon revealed the United States is actively investigating over 650 UFO sightings. Over the weekend, another one was added to the list when a C-17 was asked to divert to investigate an object in the sky near Hawaii. Now there's a picture of the back end of an airplane or the wing of an airplane, and they're looking at one of these balloons. But I've got to wonder, if maybe there's other UFO activity that's taking place out here in the Pacific. I've often long held a belief that at the bottom of the Marianas Trench is some kind of an alien base. Yes, they fly in and they're gonna zip around all over the place and looking for people to abduct and probe.
Yeah, take us to your dealer.
Abduct, yes,
or your leader. Yeah.
Dealer. I don't know. Is there such a thing? Now, besides the Chinese balloons that are out there, totally not spying. Maybe. It's a hobby. We're weather balloons. We're totally not spying on Guam just to see what Admiral Nicholson is up to. But there's just all of these stories floating around. So I'm wondering if anybody, hijacked my print jobs, or maybe that was actually another part of the story that involved the F-18s that are apparently, in kind of a not even storage. It's
That's a waste. How much are those each?
Oh,
Ray?
there got to be billions of dollars worth up there. I don't know, multi-million dollars worth of the airplane. I guess if they're new, if they're like mint condition or something like that. But I'm thinking we could take them over to Pat's window tent and buff it up and vacuum the sand out.
Full detail.
It'd be good as new. Anyway, 6:16 in the morning. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. Lots more like that as the program commences. I should have mentioned this. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for 68. It's going to be 69 years here before too much longer.
Ooh, 69.
There's the story. Pentagon confirms 3 F-22 fighter jets were scrambled to intercept a UFO over Hawaii. Could they just call them balloons instead of calling them UFOs? Because every time they say UFO, I'm thinking Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Me too, man. Little people.
And And I really like that movie. I've told you 1,000 times. And we went to go watch it. Hoffaday Theater. It was a big deal. Back in those days, we didn't have little tiny mall-sized theaters. We had the grand building that was the Hoffaday one at behind the ITC building in that area back there. Yeah, balcony for making out and smoking cigarettes and flicking them out over the balcony and wondering where they were landing. But I remember me and my friends, the family, we all went to go watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind because that was the big kind of blockbuster. And back in those days, there were literally lines around the building for people to get in there, lines at the concession stand, and then we watched the movie, and it was what as everybody was walking out of the theater, we all looked skyward, Real Joe. Donna D, we were all looking to the sky to see maybe if that was the night that they were going to announce themselves after we'd watched them in the movies. And it's how many years ago is that now?
Yeah, it's been a
almost
while,
50 years.
It's been 84 years.
And I still haven't gotten my share of da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, Joe, Real Joe.
I made it. I'm here. I'll answer the phone.
He gets the phone. You call it 888-825-5888. TALK is the telephone number. Mean Machine is online this morning, although I don't know that I've seen a whole lot that has come in so far. Let me see. There's this. The backlash continues on the social media and the Mean Machines and on the Twitterverse, etc. About who's the guy? It's the Dylan Mulvaney.
Never heard of her.
Him.
Oh man, I'm confused.
He's a boy.
I'm the one that's confused.
I don't know. Sometimes you get just kind of suckered into the whole social media routine and the whole political correctness, and sometimes you just kind of mentally give up. Just what do you want me to call you? I don't want to fight. Okay, I just want to live my life. Can I just live my life and I'll just do whatever you want me to do? No, don't roll over. It's a boy. The stories about Bud Light continue to come in on my social media. Virtually every single day, there's 2 or 3 of these things that seem to take a great deal of pride in announcing just how bad the numbers have gotten for Bud Light. Not everywhere, but across a large swath of the country and with a large number of beer drinkers. And I don't know that there's a panic mode, but it's like many things. If you can, you remember why they used to sell you cigarettes in a 3-pack, right? You remember the idea was if I could get you off of your brand, and this works for sodas, it works for mayonnaise, it works for cigarettes. If I can get you to break your habit once, twice, 3 times, then there's a very, very good chance that I would have won you over as a customer. So that's why they sell you.
But you could get the windbreaker too, Ray.
Yeah.
You get every pack.
Can I get the cooler? Which one of the beer companies is giving away those Joe Coy tickets? But at any rate, so it's that's among the reasons why they do that. And there's a lot of people, in the InBev company that are concerned because it might be causing people that were staunch, Bud Light drinkers ever since. All of a sudden, they're trying all these different beers, different concoctions, different, maybe even getting away from beers and just going to like seltzers and wine coolers or something like that. And they're concerned that they may never come back once you've burned in, a new flavor in your mouth. The old one just ain't right. 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning, news and headlines with Donna D for the course of the day. Might be a bunch of new stuff that we'll be talking about. I know that she's moving around the internet looking for all kinds of mentions of Guam. And one of the places where I like to go when there's nothing else to talk about is see what's going on over at the legislature. Oh. And I got a couple of interesting submissions from the Youth Congress. And I'll tell you about that a little bit later on. And Jesse Lujan has got a new bill that is being supported over at the legislature. So you're here, Donna. I'm here. 888-8255, like I said, is the telephone number. Mean Machine online, and the guys over on the YouTube side, I got to say, are kind of salty here. We got there's Rico.
Wait, are we still buffering?
No, not that I know of. I'm not seeing any messages, and it doesn't look like anybody's doing a whole lot of complaining on this side. So that's good. All good to me. One generation. This will all be sorted out. Let me just from the top take a look. And Rico Blancaflor on the YouTube side here today. Apparently, he's still in Facebook jail. Not quite ready for probation.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what we can do and find out. I mean, if you're missing him and want to wish him a happy birthday, that's where you're going to find him today. 6:21 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. Let's see if anybody else got birthdays.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
We're all here, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody here and just being insane. No, all the same, not insane. We're all insane. Ex-RAAF F-18 Hornets left to rust in Guam and are now useless. According to Malcolm Davis, retired RAAF fighter jets were dumped in Guam. Reported sale to U.S. operator did not occur. Experts say they are too old to be useful. You know, this is kind of depressing to me.
That's rude.
In a story. Yeah, right. Did you guys not watch Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
And he got in the back of one of these, I don't know if it was a Hornet. I forget what it was that he was fighting in that.
It was an F-16.
AR-15, right? You know, whatever it was. He was able to get in it, and the junk in the back didn't work. All of the goosey stuff wasn't working.
He warmed it up, though, dude.
But he was still able to shoot off some rounds. And a couple of flares or something like that. I mean, it's a one man's trash is another man's treasure. There's a dude out in Swamp Road could probably fix these things up, no problem. Lickety split. The Australian Defence Force has been accused of wasting billions of dollars after dumping retired fighter jets in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. These Hornets, which cost up to $90 million each, are currently collecting dust.
I wonder how much a catalytic converter is in that, Ray. We could scrap that.
At the U.S. Anderson Air Force Base in Guam, which is an American territory, Australian Strategic Policy Institute analyst Malcolm Davis said he had no idea why the planes had been so unceremoniously dumped. They're in pretty poor condition because they've been stored outside, so they're essentially rusting. Suggestions have been made the planes should be given to Ukraine to help fight off the Russian invasion, but Dr. Davis said that they were outdated. And there is a picture of reportedly purported to show a bunch of these Hornets.
God, they look so cool.
They're actually very pretty aircraft. Yeah, and that's what they look like apparently when they're not rusting and left to rot in a warehouse or just on a field at Anderson Air Force Base. All right, so you know where this is going, right? We've got guys that listen to the broadcast that are pretty close to flight lines and things like that. Could we get some pictures of these 18s just to back up this story? I'm not saying that I don't believe it or trust it, but it came from MSN.com. I'd more trust it if it came from somebody that I knew from around here. All right, as we get close to finding out who it is, Big Boss is here on the Facebook side. And we'll start with, back at number 1. Had to wait till James Howard died to do it.
The charts.
Ismael Velez. Congratulations,
Good
big
morning,
man.
Chief.
Beautiful Sarita Garin at number 2. JB St. Nicholas. Sarita, do we have any pictures of green butts here this morning? Could you work on that?
UFOs.
Oh, that's right. Henry McNulty watching. JB St. Nicholas. Dale Audette is there. VFW Post Canteen is online. And a reminder, $1,500 is the start for the jackpot. 7 o'clock Friday night for the drawing on that. It will be more. Every time somebody buys a ticket, that adds to the pot. Matt Galendez is there. Ismail says, time to make the donuts. Tony and Annette and Pinko Ada. Hold on. We got to choreograph this. I don't think we've heard the last. of Tony Adda. Henry Manglotnia is hanging out. So is our favorite guy artist, Ron Castro. Brad Wood.
Morning, Wood.
Off of Jason at Military Auto Source, Patty Santiago, Bill Petit, off of Jay Nauta, and let me see, Jerome McDonald. A wonderful good morning, everybody. Ray, Donna D, Real Joe, Jerry Roberts. Jerry Roberts pre-recorded again today, probably for the rest of the week. Let me see, Zerot Young and Jesse Ninetti, Aurelio Pereda saying good morning. I appreciate that. John Harold Manglotnia Napati, Buenos Dan Saludo. Jay Rojas. She's a jingle-making machine, that D. Bunker Menno is saying his off a days. So is Lonnie Salas, Felix Bumba, and let me see, Mike Grace Blas. Off a Bandit, good to see you online here this morning. I see Ismail says 27 states revolting against Biden's mortgage redistribution law, which came into effect May 1st, punishes people with great credit by raising their mortgage rate by 1.75%.
Come on, man.
And if you've got poor credit, if you've done a lousy job like me with your personal finances, your mortgage rate is lowered by 1.75%. It's called mortgage equity. Justice for all. What can I say? So here's the lesson, guys. Stop working so hard. You know what? You just go into Friday mode on Monday. Because apparently, that's the way this country is headed, where we're no longer going to reward hard work and effort. We will praise and reward the lazy and the incompetent. Mike Grace Blas, Mark Cruz, Marla Carbolito Castro is there. Sarita says, another beautiful day to make good memories. That's the plan here for today. And remember, the Ray Gibson rule, always find something to have a selfie about. There's just got to look out for those opportunities where you might be able to buddy up with some friends. And I don't want to be, morbid about it, but the people that we came into the new year with might not be here when we bring in another new year. So you got to grab all those memories and just enjoy the people while you can. Make those memories and take that selfie. Francis Duffy is online. Ruel de Rooster Drillan, Auntie Bennett Lohan, Duenas. So, in other words, flour makes you feel the same way the legislature does when they commit to buffoonery. Well, you know what? I got to say, after...
Wow, what's that, diarrhea?
After reading up on some of the headlines over the last couple of days, the buffoonery is not just limited to the legislature, Ismail. I think we know that. I think we're surrounded by the buffoonery and skullduggery. Manny and Ning Rages. Vince Borja. Hey, Senator, good to see you. Dennis Benzer saying, why am I so sleepy? You know why you're so sleepy? Is because you took the extra time out of your day to swing by the radio station and drop off. No.
Okay.
He's dropped by. He did some traveling a while ago. It's refrigerator magnets.
Morning, DB.
Yeah. What's the sound effect for a refrigerator? I don't know. It's got one with baby Jesus on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's drunk when he bought it, guaranteed. Well, so I did that once. I bought somebody. What was it? It was a thing. The Last Supper.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
And
I got this. Why? Thank you very much for the gift, Ray. But why this? I said because I guarantee you don't have one of these.
No, that's your screensaver, Ray.
It's not right. Ben Servino saying happy Wednesday to Guam and ThePOINT Familia. Good to see you there. Mark Cruz, 99.1% plus 1% equals 100.1%. It's journalist math you're working on there, buddy. I see it. Army Lynn is online. So is Tim Zedeka. Hey, cousin Troy from Candid News.
Morning, Chelu.
He's working it up here this morning. He's spotted some irony. Here's apparently Guam Memorial Hospital. We've got it confirmed now that they're just doing net payroll, right? So all of the deductions and things like that, we just don't have the money for that right now. So we'll get you the money that you would have gotten in the paycheck.
Coming.
But yeah, all of the rest of it, the stuff that generally goes on the stub, we don't have the money for that right now. And it's not the first time it happened, but the first time it happened, well, the last time it happened happened under Benita Manglotnia's watch. And they fired her.
No.
Yeah. And so cousin Troy's asking, well, if you guys did this to Benita, how come we're not hearing about anybody getting let go over at Guam Memorial Hospital now? It's the same offense for which you once upon a time fired somebody else. So what's the deal? So he's talking about that. Might be a couple other things over on the Candid that we'll get caught up on later. EOD Kaboom is here. It says, good morning.
Sorry.
Sweet baby Ray.
Sweet baby Ray.
There's a guy in shorts.
You're his sugar plum?
You're a daisy if you do. I got Anna Marie is there, Dan Rasal. Who else is there? Rudy Rodolfo, the original Burger King. Your Highness, it's good to have you online with us. What did Rico do on Facebook? Asked Jerome McDonald. You know, I got to be careful because we're on Facebook right now.
He
but
shared your show.
What? Somebody told me that they put a there is something, you know, and they offended the political correctness gods there because they put a laughing emoji on something that I don't know had to do with the trans thing, right? And so he put a laughy emoji on it, and that got him suspended for an hour. So anymore, I know, an hour suspension.
God, he deserved it, Ray. You know it.
And like, yeah, for laughing at something that they apparently at the Meta, you know, just as far as they're concerned, is like laughing at Bible verses. Who we got here? Sarita Samabini Young, present. Good to have you there. Jose Tepago. The DOD ain't got blank to intercept hypersonic missiles for reals. Could incorporate them into a fighter jet tour for civilians. Every day's an air show. Tim Zedeker says, I've not seen them. Hey, Mark Mendiola's online. Mark, get Mark on the phone.
Mark Mendiola.
Yeah, how'd my cousin do in the fight? That was over the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I did not hear anything about that over the weekend. I was thinking, let him do it. Alex Afflegui is there. Let me see. RV Egna talking about risk management. Hey, look, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez online.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Uncle Carl Gutierrez brings it every time.
Sam Abini Young, with reference to the financial equity that Ismail brought up, she says, so if you get a B, if you got an A, we're going to take that A and make it a B, and if you got a D, we'll make that a C, and everybody will be happier. Try to explain that concept to students, and they'll tell you why it's messed up. But it's not messed up when the president of the United States is forcing the banks to do that. Michelle Concepcion online. Good morning, Striker Vince Gomez, and so many more. I got to check the guys over on the YouTube side. They've been salty lately.
Yeah, crabby.
Yeah.
Why are you guys so crabby over there?
Sup? Who peed in your Rice Krispies? Rico Blancaflor is there. MPO Go. There it is. There's the security of the program. Brennan Fausto. Let's go. The GOAT. G-Goat Zarhead. Sending good vibes. All right, real good. Kitsutsu in Japan. $1 will get you 132 yen at your DOD Community Bank. 61 degrees in Yokosuka. Starting to warm up there, huh? Well, I guess it was like 50 last week, wasn't it? Fin Fan is online saying PPL. I don't know what that means. Fin Fan. Describe. Lupang Guam is there to provide the adult supervision. Kitsutsu in Japan says it's Golden Week.
You know
for
what that
Japan,
means.
which is
there's a few, right,
heavy
trickling
travel.
in.
Susan Sandra was talking about hearing more Japanese voices and language over at Pirates Cove this weekend. So maybe we're getting our share now of the post Coons over Hawaii. Red Balloon says Rico Blancaflor. Meg Bart 12 saying good morning, Guam. Likewise, Vern Bates living in the Pacific saying good morning and sending his sunshine emojis and all of that stuff. So 6:34 in the morning. Items in the table of contents. As I said, we've got that very interesting story about the FA-18s at Anderson Air Force Base. Come on. You know what we need to do? We need to show just how patriotic we are. We'll get those things. And you remember we used to have Polaris Point?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put one of those things.
With the big missile rocket thing?
Yeah, let's put one of,
Point it up.
A jaunty angle out there. You know, when I was a little boy, Grandma's house wasn't too far away from Moylan's. Moylan's the store and Moylan's the VW dealership.
Yeah.
There is, if you're in the Mosa area, there's a building and they sell furniture and knick-knacky kinds of stuff. And right in front of that is a column that sticks out into the air.
Solid.
It used to have
a
Volkswagen Bug on it.
Doug and Jimmy Craig put that up there.
They did
with
over
their
the weekend
hands.
with their bare hands. And so all I'm saying is we've got a pillar that's just out there, got nothing on the top. You get one of these F-18s out there and say, welcome to Fighter
That's
Town,
a great
Brown.
idea.
Welcome to Fighter Town. 6:35 in the morning, and we'll look and see if there's any other interesting stories on the table of contents. We'll look over some new submissions at the legislature, et cetera, as the program continues. Something else that you need to talk about, put it up on the Facebook side, put it up on the YouTube side. Send me the memes at 7978255. Right now, Donna D is going to explore some news and headlines. You ready, Donna? All right, here it comes, the news. What happened?
Ike Elikios, the man accused of raping a foster child for several years, has been indicted by a grand jury. Prosecutors say Elikios was in a relationship with the girl's foster mother when the abuse occurred. When he was arrested, he admitted that he was drunk and claims he thought the child was his partner. He's back in court next Tuesday. Meanwhile, more tax refunds went out on Monday. Adelup announced that Rev and Tax and DOA processed and mailed out or direct deposited nearly 2,200 individual tax refund payments, totaling almost $5.2 million. The refunds are for individual tax returns filed on or before March 14. And Apple Pacific, the company in charge of Applebee's, IHOP, Pyology, Olive Garden, and Longhorn Steakhouse, is seeking employees. A job fair was held at IHOP in Tumon yesterday with open positions from entry-level to leadership roles. Those who missed the job fair can pick up an application from any restaurant location and apply in person. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Yeah, I love those Applebee's folks in apology and everything, but I don't know that that's a news story because virtually every business on Guam is in job fair mode anymore these days. It seems like
I think I read about 3 job fairs that happened.
Well, I mean, Payless was last weekend, right?
Yeah.
And Applebee's did one yesterday.
There was one at UOG.
Right?
Yeah.
So everybody is looking for employees. So, but who's motivated to work? Why do I got to go to work? You know, I'll just have lousy credit score and bad finances, and Biden will help me out getting a loan over at the bank. I'll get a better interest rate than the guy that's been struggling to get his credit rating over 700, for heaven's sakes.
Bad credit, no money down.
Bad credit, no credit. Don't worry about it. Welcome to the United States of Useless. It's 6:37. I'll be right back.
Happy day. This is Claire Manglona from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Express yourself into the groove. The Guam Chamber of Commerce celebrates its 99th anniversary at the Dusatani Resort on May 6th with the theme of Madonna's Vogue. The Chamber's membership includes many corporations, large and small, entrepreneurs, and nonprofit organizations. Members play a key part in making Guam a star-bright place to live, work, and play. Let's congratulate the Guam Chamber of Commerce and its members on celebrating its 99th anniversary.
I'm sorry. You know, Donna D's asking about Pelican cases, and immediately I go into... I'm already mansplaining.
Oh,
I'm mansplaining. I'm Sessa, and I'm mansplaining. Well, you got a Pelican case. You see a Pelican case is virtually atmosphere-proof. They're designed to float and keep water out, and you know, you can get them in different shapes and sizes. You know, my headphones, with the little headphones, when I got them from the ear doctor, they came in a little Pelican case. I'm serious. A tiny Pelican case with little tiny headphones in them. It was the cutest thing in the whole wide world. I've got all kinds of electronic equipment that comes in Pelican cases. Actually pay extra because it protects them. You can go to the gun store and you can get Pelican cases that are designed to fit with all your different guns and rifles and
cigars
ARs,
too.
And cigars. and so I'm like, well, yeah, I'm really interested in Pelican cases. You can use it for everything. And Donna C says, yeah, they're using it for meth now.
Oh, nice.
Man, they just kind of ruined the whole Pelican story for me now. It's 6:39 on the Ray Gibson Show. Quick look at what's happening in traffic. It's too early for any major traffic issues, but you might still see some up around the Potts Junction area. A little bit of traffic looming over Ukadu and that area up in Datadu. But otherwise, nothing major happening on Marine Drive all the way into the intersection of 1 and 3. Route 16 clear at all intersections right now. 10 and 15 starting to get a little bit busy on the 10 side. And looking at a little bit of traffic on Route 8 and Route 4 into the downtown Agutnia area. But very, very quiet as you make your way in. Shh. They're sleeping. The homeless are sleeping at the church. Don't make a lot of noise right now. Southbound Marine Corps Drive all the way down to Big Navy and Sumai. Say hello to Admiral Nicholson while you're down there. That's it. That's all the traffic we've got for you. Nothing crazy here on the morning show.
Struggling to find the perfect Mother's Day gift? Look no further. For a limited time, get a new iPhone 14 on GTA's Live Unlimited plan. And you'll not only make Mom's day, but also get her a free Apple Watch. Help Mom stay connected, monitor her health, and keep track of her fitness goals with just a tap. It's a gift that will make her life easier and more stylish. Don't wait. Head to your nearest GTA retail location and get your iPhone 14 and free Apple Watch today. Happy Mother's Day, GTA. We start with you.
Celebrating BK's 34th anniversary, Whopper Wednesday is back every Wednesday in May. Visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, I love the Whoppers, and get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your friends and family and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in May. Available at BK Agutnia, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Thank you, Guam, for 34 years. You rule. 641 on the Ray Gibson Show. Sorry, just, I'm in that kind of frisky kind of mood. And maybe it's a class of 80 thing. Maybe it's, because it's Macho's birthday. Our classmate Macho Lintiaco celebrating a birthday. I'm reading up on that in the Father Duenas chat. Otherwise, we'd be spending some time patting Senator Frank Blas Jr. on the back for miring. Miring. He's the new miring in Mutt guy. Feet. Is that what it is? Anyway, 642. Am I talking now? Am I in the...
You're talking.
Okay, I'm in the open. Just checking, because it's Wednesday. Never could get the hang of Wednesdays. All right, Senator Frank Blas Jr., Buenos and Hafade.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm just, some days I'm amused, some days I'm annoyed. I think today I'm mostly going to be on the amused side. And there's just something special about it when I can open up the newspaper and see that the governor has taken time out of her busy schedule to criticize you about something.
I know. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, as a governor calls out Senator Blas for grossly inaccurate accusations. How is it everything coming out of the legislature has got somebody at Adelup or the joint region saying how you guys are spewing inaccuracies?
Well, it's kind of amazing. I think over the last 72 or 98 hours, it's been hell for them, and the sins of the past are catching up to them.
Sure looks like it. Anyway, so the story, though, on this one, it feels like time warp, because we've actually talked about this, criticisms that you have made of the governor and perhaps others taking too lightly the threat of losing compact impact funding and the discretionary funds from the Department of the Interior.
Yeah, and I think the characterization of grossly, misinformation and the accusation. I believe, first off, I was asking somebody yesterday, are they fact checking their information before they make their releases? In that, if you go to the letters that she provided, and I appreciate, that she provided everybody with a copy of the letters now. With regard to her communications with the Department of Interior and the state and everybody else. But prior to, my letter to her about, can you please do something about this, about the Biden administration zeroing out of compact impact, the letters spoke mainly to the negotiations that were going on, and that there was a hope that there would be the discussions on the compact reimbursement in the negotiating process. And I pointed out to them, I said, look, we've got nothing to do with the negotiations. We've already been told, first off, we can't participate, much less sit in a room with them to observe this. But at the same time, while the negotiations are continuing, the migration is still occurring. And in that, the impact, the reimbursements for the impact is not so much a discussion in the negotiations, but it has to be a discussion internally, between Guam and the United States, being the governor's office and the Biden administration. I think that in that process, that's what I brought up. And it was interestingly enough, the day after I sent them the letter, and they received it, is when they sent the two letters to both the State Department and to the Interior, now talking about the reimbursements needing to be a part of an outside discussion other than the negotiations. So who's grossly misinterpreting or providing the inaccuracies in the information?
I hear what you're saying. I think there's more of that in the newspaper this morning. There's a line here in the last column. She also, I guess they're referring to the governor here, stated that Guam has taken on the task of tackling impact methodology concerns that have so far prevented the full reimbursement of compact costs. Once that report is finalized and submitted to the U.S. Department of the Interior and/or the Department of State, Guam will expect to receive full reimbursement. We've been tilting at that windmill now for a decade. I remember when the guys from Interior came out and said, okay, well, just tell us what it is and we'll work on it. And we told them what we thought ours was. Hawaii told them what they thought theirs was. The CNMI put in their submissions. And then the Department of Interior came right back and said, no. You guys are all on different pages and you're mixing apples and oranges in this and we can't make heads or tails out of it. And there was supposed to be some kind of a plan moving forward that and where we would be able to provide them the information that they needed, all of us in the same language, in the same format, so we could get that going. I don't. It's been like forever. All of it. Now we're just now we're going to be attacking that. And frankly, I think that was very disingenuous of the Department of Interior. I think they should have come out and said, "Here's the format that you need to use. Fill this in like a tax return."
Well, and they did. And I'll tell you what. Many years ago, of course, when the president at that time it was Bill Clinton. He was sued, and in that suit, as a result of that suit, there was some technical assistance provided to the impacted areas on how to be able to prepare the data and how to be able to prepare that report for the consideration of reimbursement. So there has been that already, and as a matter of fact, DOI funded that study. So we've been using that methodology, that formula for many years, and then for them to come back and say, "Oh no, we don't accept this methodology." Well, for God's sake, you're the one who paid for it.
But and again, so I don't now it's the 4 years of the first administration have passed, and now they're saying we're going to take on this impact methodology concern, and then we're going to get all of that money back. Wake me up when the check comes over. Do not hesitate. I love this. She says, if you're interested in contributing in a meaningful way to the longstanding and ongoing effort in pursuit of equity for our island in the COFA negotiations, please do not hesitate to contact me directly in lieu of adversarial press releases and communications that accomplish nothing besides spreading and perpetrating misinformation. Didn't you and Therese just call the governor down to the legislature last Tuesday?
Yes, we did, and we've called. I've called many times, and as a matter of fact, in many of my letters, if not all my letters, look, Governor, here's the issue, here's the concern, here's my idea. But if you'd like to be able to talk a little bit more, give me a call, and I'll be glad. I'll drop everything that I'm doing to come down and talk to you. So, who's the one that's being disingenuous and who's the one that's being insincere? Okay? There were a number of times. Let me recall. Let's recall back to the time when she brought, all of us, albeit one, down to her office so that we can discuss how best to be able to use the American Rescue Plan money. Okay, we sat in there and had a conversation. Then we provided a follow-up with a letter. And then what happens? I don't need your participation because this money is all mine, and you have no say in how it's going to be spent. Then with regard to the hospital, the P plan, okay, where's the reports that are necessary? That I said that says that you provide the information to us so that we can institute it. Back then, what was the teacher's pay plan? Mm-hmm. No, she went in and did it on her own. And then what happened?
Well, and then she sends out a note that says that, you linking, what was it that you linked on that?
I linked the DOI report.
Yeah. When linking, let me put that link in there, and they're upset because that slowed down the process for them. So they're blaming you for people not getting their 22%.
Then there's that issue. Okay, of which I'll report that they could have done in less than a day, and provided it to the legislators to make everything go in compliance with the law. But yet, it was just, as a matter of fact, a day ago or yesterday, that now they're going to complain over 30 days afterwards. They're going to blame me because they haven't been able to comply with the law. And if that be the case, if you couldn't give GDOE because of the money of the need to be able to comply with Section 10 of the law, how is it that you gave the other entities that also needed allocations the money so that they implemented the law too? And first off, who gave them? Why are we implementing the law without dealing with first the contingencies of how before you can implement it? The law was very clear. It said implementation of the pay plan. It didn't say allocation of the money. So in preparation of the implementation, it said the full implementation. There's some question about that.
On that, real quick, are you familiar? Do you know whether when the money is available and the reports that satisfy the requirements of the law are in, will DOE get retro pay, or is that just going to pick up where they get it?
No. You've got to be very careful because the law is very specific in how you're going to be able to, if retro is in fact allowed when you're making pay adjustments or when you're making pay increases. Okay, I think, the law's in the books. Frank Bloss, if you look back at it, Frank Bloss wasn't the author of that law. Okay?
All right, last thought for you before I let you run, because it sounds like it's going to be an adventurous day in the legislature in the Gov Guam land. I'm sure you've had a chance to review the remarks of Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson. Considerations moving forward, and the letter that went out yesterday that had all of the information that it would have been good to present to the legislature last Tuesday.
Yes, but in defense of Admiral Nicholson, was it his in his name to be able to provide that? Okay, obviously he represented one side of the negotiated process. He represented the United States. It was the individuals that were representing the island that had that obligation to be able to provide it. Just like OFA, the legislature was never invited to the table with regard to the negotiations. Sure, there could have been argument made. Well, you were invited to sit down during the planning meetings. There's a big difference between the planning meetings and negotiations and stuff, or a meeting with regard to the negotiations. There have been many instances where we're going to spend all morning, speaking about many of the times when there could have been a participation, and there should have been a participation of not just the legislature but the public, in many of the processes that have been going on, and they just didn't want to do this. They just didn't want to do it.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and this letter might be deflecting a degree of the glare off of Adelup here. But I don't know. When I read the last paragraph, and I thought, really now, come on. This past Thursday, there was a tremendous amount of rhetoric and many disparaging remarks made about my organization and me. Vice commenting on the colorful language, I'd like to acknowledge the countless hours of hard work, dedication, and persistence that went into these negotiations. We recognize progress is only possible through cooperation, collaboration, and communication. And I was disappointed that he stuck that in there because it's exactly what was lacking between the governor's office, the admiral, and the legislature. That collaboration was only between two of the three parties that probably should have been involved. So say I, so say the Attorney General of Guam.
Yeah, and again, was it his role or his responsibility to say, hey, legislature, you got to be a part of this, and so come on in and let's be able to discuss this. I don't know, because nobody outside of Adelup and the military knew how the discussions were, or if there was any discussion.
Well, I'm with Bob Klitsky. I'm reading the thing. Bob Klitsky read it aloud on the radio yesterday, and the conclusion was, yeah, that would have been a pretty good deal. but why didn't you tell anybody what a great deal it was going to end up being?
Well, and I tell you, if you took a look at whether it was the first lease or the revised lease, there were still many issues and there's still many concerns that should have been a discussion that was brought. It's kind of interesting. The military on one side yesterday, and the second release they had about the missile defense system. They talked a lot about the scoping meeting and the process of getting the community involved to be able to make this decision. Why couldn't we do that with the hospital?
Amen to that. Well, restart the conversation now. Find a way to get it from scratch. 6:55 in the morning. Daryl, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Hugging a kiss to Auntie Till.
That's the best.
Okay. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number around these parts. You got them. Don't be shy about using it. So there goes one of the interesting conversations that I thought we were going to have today. Frank Blas Jr. and as I said, there's just something special about when somebody actually takes the time to write a letter and blame you for something going on in the administration. It's all Frank's fault that this didn't happen. There was another one last week that was all Frank's fault that didn't happen as well. I guess they've stopped blaming Chris Duenas for everything. You know?
They always find someone.
Yes, this is in alphabetical order.
Barnett's next.
I think
We got
they
Lawson,
choose
Barnett.
to blame whoever reacts the most angrily, I guess.
Well, for clarity, I reached out to Frank. It's not the other way around. At any rate, a couple of other things in the table of contents that I think are interesting. So we've gone from the Admiral's letter. It's if you haven't read the whole thing or didn't hear Bob recite it yesterday, you can find it in the letters to the editor section. It's called Considerations Moving Forward. But the real interesting Nicholson story is on page 1 of the Guam Daily Post. Public asked to comment on the 360-degree missile defense that they're going to they want to put around here, and I would like to be the first one with deference to my neighbors, because I haven't talked to them about this. I think I've got room in the front yard for one of those THAAD things. No, and I don't know. I got to check. I got friends, I got strategic thinkers, guys like Ismael, and very technical chief, and maybe he could come by and take a look at the place and see if we might be able to site one of those things, like in my front yard with the missile defense. That'll keep the thugs away from the house. Yeah. Never mind the little Glock sticker on my window. You got a THAAD missile in your place. Nobody's going to come and Saki Melania your house. You know what I mean? But anyway, so maybe I'll get one of those things in it. But do I really want a THAAD missile system, in my yard? Would that not make me more of a target? Is it? And how do you apply for things like that? There will be a whole set of town halls. Remember we did this for the initial military buildup. Yeah. There will be old town halls about conversations, environmental concerns, neighborhood concerns, all of those kinds of things. So start getting your commentary ready. I would assume that given the temperature and the tenor of the relationship between China not taking our calls anymore and North Korea, that people would be, I think, welcoming, if you will, of the idea that, well, all right, maybe it's not in Ray's front yard. Maybe they put it near the mango tree over next to the old Manglotnias. There's a good spot for it, right? Yeah. It's not right there in the hood, but it'd be nice. It would be comforting. Would you not be more comforted to know that there is a self-defense system that we've got launching not too far away from you? Now, they're going to want to use military property for all of this stuff, but it still could be kind of an interesting conversation about where these things are going to be sited. And I'm just wondering if the activists will come out, and go, oh, no, we don't want any of your war machines.
No,
here,
they're
man.
on vacation, right?
It's here. Yeah. It's here to protect you. I don't care. It's going to leave a smudge on our environment. It's no good. Why does everything have to be militarized? So trust me, no, it'll happen. It'll happen. There'll be those people that are just so down that road that they can't be able to see anything else happening. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number around here. Eric the Eagle wants a billboard. I haven't got an answer to the question, but one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting in the back pages of today's Pacific Daily Post is invitation for bid. Is that what it is? Solicitation notice. Office of the Attorney General looking for architectural and engineering design services for the construction of a billboard. An Eric the Eagle billboard.
We need a six-year plan for that, Ray.
6-year plan, 5-year plan. Yeah. We'll start having meetings right away. Zoom meetings. Tyrone, put your pants on. Now, billboards. We've got a bunch of those a lot of those signs that are up there already. Got one over at the ITC building. Got another one near the Infusion. Got one down the street by the airport. Is that the kind of billboard that you want, or is it just the plain old, like we used to have at the Kapua Loop back in the day? Laddie stone on each side and a couple of 4x8s. Is that all you're looking for? All right, we'll see what we can find out from the Attorney General before too much longer. Maybe you can be involved in this little bit of commerce. 7 o'clock in the morning, KUSG, I got you 93.3. Pika's Best. Have you heard? Stand by now. It's time for Fox News on The Point.
He's willing to meet, not negotiate. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House says the president isn't changing his view on raising the debt limit after setting a meeting with top lawmakers.
The top 4 congressional leaders are expected here next week to meet with President Biden on a fast-approaching debt limit deadline.
He's going to make it very clear in this meeting that they're going to have next week how it is Congress's constitutional duty to act. He is not going to negotiate on the debt ceiling. Been very clear. That is not going to change.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president is open to a separate conversation on spending. House Republicans have approved a bill extending the debt limit into next year with steep spending cuts attached. And Speaker Kevin McCarthy says a clean debt limit will not be approved.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The Senate hasn't ruled out a standalone debt limit bill, but it would need Republican support to advance.
For $31 trillion in debt and spending almost half $500 billion a year on interest on payments on the debt. We've got to start drawing some lines here.
Senate Minority Whip John Thune. The Biden administration is sending 1,500 active duty troops to the southern border as a pandemic-era restriction on asylum seekers ends next week.
In light of the changes on May 11th and the anticipated surge, DHS did reach out and request this support.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says the deployment is planned for 90 days with troops performing administrative tasks to free up more Border Patrol agents for law enforcement duties. Support, the White House says, has become common practice over the past 2 decades. Days before the coronation of Britain's King Charles, a man is arrested outside Buckingham Palace, where police say he threw suspected shotgun cartridges into the palace grounds. No injuries. They carried out a controlled explosion after taking the man into custody. America is listening to Fox News.
Struggling to find the perfect Mother's Day gift? Look no further. For a limited time, get a new iPhone 14 on GTA's Live Unlimited plan. And you'll not only make Mom's day, but also get her a free Apple Watch. Help Mom stay connected, monitor her health, and keep track of her fitness goals with just a tap. It's a gift that will make her life easier and more stylish. Don't wait. Head to your nearest GTA retail location and get your iPhone 14 and free Apple Watch today. Happy Mother's Day. GTA. We start with you.
Join us at Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro and see why they've been crowned Guam's best Chamorro food restaurant for 9 consecutive years. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus tinactac, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet burgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña location from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for dinner, or 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for their famous Sunday brunch.
A Senate hearing on Supreme Court ethics.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Dick Durbin from Illinois is one of several Democrats who believes the Supreme Court needs to adopt a code of ethics and that the lack of one is hurting its credibility.
That reality is driving a crisis in public confidence in the Supreme Court.
This comes after Justice Clarence Thomas didn't disclose multiple lavish trips with a Republican mega donor. Senator Lindsey Graham, though, doesn't believe Congress should take over the court's ability to regulate itself.
This is not about making the court better. This is about destroying a conservative court.
Graham believes much of the actions are political.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz is on Capitol Hill. One retired federal judge spoke in favor of greater transparency, but former Attorney General Michael Mukasey told the committee unfair criticism is to blame for any mistaken impression that the court's integrity has been damaged. Israel launching airstrikes on Gaza in response to earlier rocket fire, with Palestinian militants outraged over the hunger strike death in prison of a senior member of Islamic Jihad. Reruns are coming on late-night TV as thousands of writers go on strike, with a long way to go on key sticking points.
Writers want a 16% across-the-board raise. That's for streaming, network, and cable TV, and higher residuals for the number of viewers. Studios offering 9%, but no residuals for streaming. Unions want 6 writers for a pilot, 1 writer for every subsequent episode, and 13-week contracts. Studios say no minimums, no contracts, and the freedom to pay writers on a day rate. Finally, writers say artificial intelligence cannot touch a script or a rewrite. Studios only saying that's something we'll talk about. The talks come as cord cutting and streaming wars over subscribers have studios hunting for profits.
Fox's William Lajeunesse in Culver City, California. Stocks slide. The Dow dropped 367. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Since 1997, Island Eye Institute has been committed to your family's eye care needs. From its beginnings, Island Eye Institute has recognized the value in incorporating state-of-the-art technology into personalized care and a commitment to excellence. As Guam's complete eye center, our specialists offer their expertise in glaucoma, retina, cornea, LASIK, cataract, and diabetic eye disease. Island Eye accepts Select Care, Net Care, Take Care, and Stay Well. Call us at 637-2020 to schedule your appointment today. We're located on the second floor of the Baltesh Pavilion in Tamuring.
Half a day. This is Claire Manglonia from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Need help with affordable legal services? ProSay 101 is here to help. Our services are here to help you independently create your own legal documents for divorce, trust, probate, power of attorney, and many other cases. To find out more, call now at 800-303-9240. That's 800-303-9240. Or visit us at prose101.com. That's prose101.com. prose101.com. The legal document people.
Off a day at 7:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. A couple charged with jury tampering after serving time in federal prison is looking to file a vindictive prosecution motion against the government. Raymond Martinez and Juanita Moser Martinez appeared in district court on Monday for a hearing on evidence that will be used in their October trial. The couple has been accused of influencing jurors in their 2018 drug trial that resulted in a mistrial. Prosecutors called the couple arrogant and spoiled and said they would be taken to trial 1,000 times if needed. Magistrate Judge Heather Kennedy set the next hearing for May 25, but added it will be vacated if the parties can arrive at an agreement and file a stipulated motion before that date. And victims of crime seeking compensation will be unable to receive money until a conflict between local and federal laws is resolved. On Friday, the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission, or CICC, met for the first time since November of 2022 to discuss a drafted bill that, if passed into law, would keep private information and records about victims seeking compensation confidential. Former AG and newly confirmed CICC member Elizabeth Barrett Anderson explained that the conflict comes from Guam's law not being aligned with federal law, which keeps victims' private information and records confidential. The details of the bill state that the CICC will continue to hold public hearings, but the discussion of victim applications will not be carried out publicly. Barrett Anderson adds that a victim's information, which includes medical records and statements of personal experience resulting from a crime, can be open to the public only if written consent is obtained. After approving of the drafted bill, Barrett Anderson would notify lawmakers of the CICC's proposal with the hopes of it being passed into law before budget hearings later this year. More news after this.
In celebration of our 34th anniversary on Guam, BK Melts are now available. Our classic melt features 2 flame-grilled Whopper Junior patties, a quarter pound, melty American cheese, caramelized onions, and stacker sauce on 2 slices of toasted bread. BK Melts are also available in a spicy and bacony variation made for our super fans. Top off your meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Sprite. Thank you, Guam, for 34 years. BK Tumon Bay, Agutya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. You rule.
Public Health says the courts and the police will provide more background checks before issuing a clearance to potential foster parents to better protect children in their custody. This comes after the placement of at least 2 foster children in separate households where they were sexually abused. One of the 2 suspects had previous sexual abuse charges. Public Health is working with the judiciary and GPD on new procedures for more comprehensive background clearances. The court clearances will also show if the applicant has any dismissed cases. Health officials say social workers will check in on foster children on a monthly basis or more frequently as needed to improve communication. Senators are calling for a second round of oversight hearing that seeks to demand more accountability from public health officials in placing children in foster families. And the Department of Defense is planning to install a 360-degree missile system on Guam to defend the strategic military waypoint in the Western Pacific against attacks. And the public will have a chance to offer input. Acting Governor Josh Tenorio said he was notified by the military that a notice of intent will be published in the Federal Register, which will initiate the public comment period for an environmental impact statement. Now retired Admiral Philip Davidson, the former head of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, says this system is critical for defending the homeland, including our most important American operating location in the Western Pacific. The comment period will open this Friday and last through June 17. Scoping meetings will be held at the UOG Fieldhouse on June 14, Okudu High School on June 15, and Southern High on June 16, all from 4 to 7 o'clock. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into weather right now. There's a couple of interesting stories. You know, we talk about our preparedness and 360-degree systems that we've got out there, and we just got to be ready in case those Chinese, the Chi-Coms and the Norks, which is short for North Koreans, the Norks.
God, those Norks.
We gotta be ready for anything. Ready for anything.
And we should run like weekly tests, right?
Don't say run, because there's people just cannot run. They're never ever going to. As Americans' waistlines expand and the military struggles to find recruits. This is one of those stories. You know,
lower the standards, Ray.
You just sit around. I don't know. You got to run a mile in 10 minutes or something. I forget what it is. You
3 push-ups. 1 sit-up.
The U.S. Air Force. I've got to confirm this. The U.S. Air Force has decided to lower its threshold for applicants, whereas the previous standard dictated that men could have no more than 20% body fat and women were capped at 28%. Those numbers have been increased to 26% and 36%, respectively. Both of those categories. Now, the Air Force now include percentages that qualify as obese. So you could be technically obese by the numbers.
30% donut.
As long as it doesn't affect their golf games. 7:12 in the morning. And now this is all important because of the backdrop of the Indo-PACOM situation as we see ourselves in now. A CIA-marked document issued this year says China is building sophisticated cyber weapons to seize control of enemy satellites, rendering them useless for data signals or surveillance during war times. Financial Times has put this report out. General B. Chance Saltzman, chief of space operations for the U.S. Space Force, said in testimony last month that China has a space dream to become the foremost global space power by 2045. They'd be running cyber attacks aimed to mimic the signals that enemy satellites receive from their operators, tricking them into either being taken over completely or malfunctioning during crucial moments in combat. The classified U.S. document, must have found it in Biden's garage, said this would allow China to seize control of a satellite, rendering it ineffective to support comms, weapons, or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance systems. The U.S. hasn't said whether it has similar capabilities to be able to erase the hard drives on the Chi-Com and the Soviet and the Nork and the Iraqi satellites that are up there. 7:13 in the morning. Just ponder a couple of those things as we move forward into the program. Donna wanted something about weather. Let's get it to you. Mostly sunny today, mostly sunny tomorrow, mostly sunny on Friday. It's going to be a great weekend to get out, a great week to get some outdoor time if you can. Highs near 87 degrees all the days of the week, and we'll see a heat index bringing that up to about 94. Rip current warning, so if you're on anywhere in the ocean, but definitely on the eastern side, be on the lookout for some heavier seas out there. Careful if you're swimming far out from the shore. Sunset tonight, 6:37, hashtag tell the others. News and weather together right here on The Point.
Subway's new Subway Series menu is a collection of greatest hits. But my number 7, the Mexicali, is on a whole nother level with the way avocado meets chicken and pepper jack cheese.
Outlaw! You tell them, Raiden. That's the number 2, the Outlaw Sandwich. They don't know flavor.
It's the greatest cheesesteak hit with juicy steak, pepper jack, and Baja Chipotle sauce. There's a better meat and cheese pairing than that. Shanzi, justify my point, please.
Meatball, pepperoni, and mozzarella. That's number 6, the Boss Sandwich, because we're the bosses of flavor. We're done here.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tooele. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs. I see you, 714. Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and the team over at Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
In the morning, Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. And I thought I'd throw in a couple of other interesting things here. Remind me later on to talk about the No Mow movement.
No.
Yes.
This sounds like a no-shave movement, too.
Yeah, but it involves the yard. It involves...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it involves,
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Remember what I was saying about the environmental nut jobs? They're going to say, don't keep a THAAD missile system here. It's going to kill the grass in the field. Yeah. Anyway, so there's all kinds of environmental campaigns. There's a No Mow May, an anti-lawn movement, food, not lawns, and climate victory gardens that are gaining steam and prompting homeowner associations and other traditionalists to dig in their heels. Now, when we start talking about battles over yards, it is, in my mind, perfectly legitimate to have the debate on whether mowing is superior to bush cutting.
If you use an electric mower, yes.
Well, I mean, just the idea. I mean, of a blade versus a whip. And there are some people, I'm one of them, I believe that the only way that you should tame your yard to make it really, really nice and not harm the grass is by using a mower with a very sharp blade. So it cuts the grass as opposed to bush cutters, which basically rip them apart. And, the example is put your finger in the lawnmower and see what it does to your finger. It just feels nice. It will leave it just a nice little nub, right? But if you put your finger in a bush cutter, it'll just rip the skin to shreds.
Don't do it, though.
It's not, well, I mean, kids, don't try this at home. And do it at your friend's house. But I'm just saying, you can see the difference in it. So I'm one of those guys, and I also believe that the more mowing that you do, the less likely you're going to be kicking up rocks and really disturbing the ground. So I'd make that bet with people. But they're saying that there's a new kind of deal where people are saying it's environmentally bad, what we have trained ourselves to do over generations by trying to have nice lawns, taming the planet around us. Is actually causing more harm than good. You know why? Because in 2023, people are just plain stupid, and that's all we got to say about that. You want to know about another new movement?
Of course I do, right?
Yes. Opting out of Mother's Day marketing. Mother's Day is coming. It's the 14th. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Opting out of Mother's.
Yes.
Define a mother, Ray.
Well, there's a person who didn't have a baby. The person who had me was a mother. But there's a whole conversation now about trying for people that for whatever reason don't want to know about Mother's Day, trying to figure out how they can opt out email messages and things that you see in social media and just all the bombardment that you get about Mother's Day and trying to get out from under it for whatever reason.
So sad, Ray.
I know. It's we'll talk about these things and plenty more as the program continues. 7:18 in the morning. Time to take a look at what happened on the markets. Are you ready? Are you set? S&P 500 down. All the American markets are down here. S&P 500 lost almost 50 points. They're closing at 41.19. NASDAQ off by 132 points. Are they the biggest loser by percentage? It's a tie. No, actually, biggest loser by percentage is S&P 500. I'll take a look and see who led them down today. Dow Jones Industrial Average off by 367 points. Although there are some stocks that are making after-hours move, including Ford, Starbucks, Clorox, and others. FTSE is off by almost 100 points. Nikkei picked up 34. The Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong up by 39. Shanghai up by 37. What have I got here? The VIX is up by 1.7, and the DAX dropped 195 points. So what did I say? S&P 500, biggest losers by percentage, led down by First Energy Corporation, Amazon, T-Mobile, First Solar, and First Republic Bank on the winner side of the S&P 500, and there were some gainers. It was Charter Communications, Mohawk Industries, ResMed Inc., Catalent Inc., and Royal Caribbean. Maybe people are deciding that they want to go back on cruises once again. On the commodities, I love this. Oil yesterday, when we were talking about oil, $75.74. Keep that number in your head, $75.74. Today, oil trading at $71.54. Now, it's not going to have a big deal on what happens on the gas tanks for our car, but it could have an impact and help smooth the process as the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, GPA, goes and shows up to the Public Utilities Commission and says, make Ray Gibson's LEAC rate lower. We need to make it lower.
For Ray?
Yeah, for me, for the children. Think of the children. This is one of those ways that we might be able to save money. And yes, while we might not have gotten a 22% pay raise like some people around here, and not even all of some people around here, this could benefit everybody that has to write a check out to the Guam Power Authority. So watch out for that. If you're buying gold, it's $2,025. Wow, up by $33 in the last 24 hours. It's kind of amazing, that figure. Real Joe, give me the Bitcoin number. And
it's 28,682, and it's up by 600.
That sounded like it was moving in that direction. All right, 7:20 in the morning. Tapas is still frozen at $80.15 a barrel. I'll see if I can get an adjusted rate, because it seems to me it's late enough in the morning that they might update that. The yen, if you're going to Japan, 136.5. That's the bank rate. Kitsuto in Japan said the number was a little bit closer to 131, 132. Yeah, 132 when you go to the DOD Community Bank at his place. If you're headed to the Philippines, hey, 55.40 pesos in exchange for your greenback, and about 1,341, almost 1,342 won in South Korea. So those magic numbers as we move ahead on the Ray Gibson Show, 7:21 in the morning. As I said, Jerry Roberts, pre-recorded. We'll get around to doing that in just a couple of minutes. But I did want to also talk about, hit you with kind of a Jerry Roberts-y thing in my own voice before we get around to doing that. And that is 4 habits of happy people. Are you ready?
I'm so ready for that.
This you know what? You remember the poster with the cat and it said "hang in there"?
Yes,
like that? Yeah,
hang in there.
Yeah, and then the footsteps one. This is along those lines. So 4 habits of happy people. Upgrade your happiness. Go to Happiness 2.0. They say thanks. There's a lot of appreciation. Research at the University of California in Davis found that those who kept weekly gratitude journals felt better about their lives and were more optimistic. Who here has got a gratitude journal? Who's doing that every morning, or maybe at the end of the day? You pull out your little journal, be a little book with no lines on it. You just what were you grateful for? What were you grateful for yesterday, Rojo? Come on.
Just to breathe, man. Just to wake up and enjoy this woke life that we got going on here, man.
This side of the grave. That's why I'm happy. So go on with your gratitude journals. Number 2, they reach out. Not the way that you're thinking of. Volunteering at homeless shelters, mentoring a disadvantaged child, or participating in a community project. People who focus on others are happier. Compassionate acts help you feel better about yourself. And if you'd like to come and mow my yard, I got a pile of shirts that needs ironing.
There you go.
Yeah, make you feel better about yourself.
Don't pay it back, pay it forward to Ray Gibson.
I would feel better too. Here's one that and I guarantee this one is correct. Here's one of the 4 habits of happy people. They like to bond. There are few better remedies for unhappiness than an intimate friendship with someone who cares deeply about you. Confiding in others is good for the body as well as for the soul. trying to make a connection somewhere between confiding in others' bodies. You know what I mean? Is there a way? Is there a thing? Balloon smuggling, and then the last one, they get spiritual. Happy people get spiritual. Studies have shown a link between spirituality and happiness. Cultural historian David Shee says people who have been able to sustain joy usually believe in a higher being, whether through conventional or some kind of new age religion. You know, mine is the religion of climate change, and my God is Joe Biden. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, that's not me. But there are some people that go to that church, and you know who they are. It's 7:24 on the Ray Gibson Show. Now, about time, with the real Jerry Roberts stepping in here, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
The whole topic of artificial intelligence, or AI, has been buzzing on the lips of countless folks around the globe. Some say that the machines are coming for our jobs, and that they'll eventually enslave or even dispose of the human race. I'll tell you what to do if you don't want to see your job go to a robot. That's next on The Extra Point.
Fly even higher and get to your destination with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. You can earn 40,000 miles with $2,000 worth of spending within the first 3 months. That's 40,000 reasons to get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Certain restrictions apply. To learn more about this offer, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Up to a few months ago, the whole idea of robots taking over was fanciful small talk. Sure, we'd see the latest innovations in robot tech and talk about how close they're getting to developing machines that can actually make a major impact. Still, that was likely ways off. And the costs, well, they were through the roof. Come on, how many people would realistically be able to use any of the advancements? Then, ChatGPT was launched and changed everything. This conversational bot that can generate an endless variety of human-like responses to a wide range of questions and prompts has achieved a user base of over 100 million people in just 2 months. The bot's unique capabilities include passing advanced university exams in law, medicine, and business, translating pictures into recipes, generating essays, poems, and articles, and translating a picture of a handwritten website sketch into full code within seconds. Even in its infancy, ChatGPT is performing job functions in industries far and wide. It's not perfect, but improves daily. All this without asking for a raise, questioning the company's policy on work-life balance, or cooking smelly food in the break room. As such, the workplace has lost its mind. AI, this potential future threat to workers, was now a voracious beast that would quickly take over everything and throw us all out of a job. Well, I'm here to tell you, they're right. AI will affect everyone's work at some point. It is an inescapable fact. However, there are qualities we have, you and I, that can deliver value that no robot likely will, at least not for some time. Are you ready? Here we go. First, self-awareness is critical. Understanding ourselves in the age of AI means paying close attention to how technology is reshaping our behaviors, as well as the behavior of the people we work with and serve. Some people will be fine with tech, and more tech. Others, not so much. We'll have to know how to deal with those differences. Second, humility is important. It's one of the greatest and most attractive human qualities. Machines are not humble. Machines may approach the issue of humility, but there will always be a difference. Advantage, us. Third, empathy, that unique human capacity to understand and share the feelings of others. The tech masters will fill robots with elaborate algorithms that will make them seem to be empathetic, but there will always be a difference in that and how you would interact. I think if you and I can harness those three things, self-awareness, humility, and empathy, there is going to be a place for us in the working world, even as the use of artificial intelligence develops and spreads. There's one more, and this quality kept coming at me as I wrote this commentary. You might not agree that it is a desirable quality, but it makes us human. It is imperfection. Machines will become more and more perfect, and the simple mistake or miscalculation may someday be relegated to history. Perhaps by then, the human race will be fine with that. However, as bots take over our lives to a larger degree, I think the majority of humans will want human contact, maybe even crave it, from imperfect beings. How fast will AI disrupt industries and jobs to a level that matches the fears of some? That's hard to say. 20 years for some folks, 10 years for others. Yours, maybe less. Baby boomers and Gen Xers may have less to worry about as they're further along in their careers. Millennials and Gen Z members have more to risk here. AI will no doubt change our lives in ways that are almost unimaginable. Robots will one day look like us, sound like us, and seem like us. Yet, they won't be us. The things that make us uniquely human will always have a place and bring value. Hopefully. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
Are you sure? What if that was AI
really
Jerry?
him, man?
What is that? The AI Jerry Roberts? I don't know.
Nice robot moves there, Jerry.
People had asked, because there's all kinds of stuff that is coming out. I was gonna do a thing on AI again later on in the broadcast. I might still, because there was a guy that was working at Google. He's one of they call him the grandfather of AI, and he quit Google so he could spend more time talking about how dangerous AI is from out from under his employer. So you can tell that there's a lot of people that have got some kind of concerns about it. And people said, what's to prevent, Ray? What is to prevent, being able to take the sum total of your life experience? And it wouldn't be difficult. I give you an example. YouTube has virtually every Ray Gibson Show broadcast that we've done in the last 5 years. I mean, unless there was some kind of technical error, all of them are uploaded and arguably searchable and could be, folded in to an AI version of the Ray Gibson Show. But would it be able to do all of the things that I can do? Would it be able to think in the speeds that we've got to think around here, debate in the speeds that we've got to debate around here, be interested in the stories that I debate around here? Could it say, as an example, come a chili store? Could the AI version come out and give you a convincing version of, say, Messianic? I don't think so. I don't think it can. And I think that's one of the ways that we'll be able to tell down the road whether you're talking to a real person or an artificial intelligence kind of person. My guess is that many of the websites that you go to, customer service-oriented websites, where you think you're talking to somebody, just because there's an icon of a semi-attractive Asian person on your screen doesn't necessarily mean there's an actual human being there. It might all be just somebody responding to predictive text and things like that on the internet. It's all out there now. 7:32 in the Ray Gibson Show. I did say come a chili store. And now, with news and information being brought to you by, Half a Day Realty at gmail.com and the World Wide Web, and the guys over at Burger King celebrating the first I Love the Whopper Wednesday in May. Here's Donna D with the news. Donna, what happened?
3 drug dealers facing federal charges separately were recently sentenced in district court. Joseph Quintanilla, whose case involves 90 grams of meth, cash, designer bags, ATVs, and motorcycles, will serve 4 years and nine months in federal prison. Ivan Leon Guerrero got 2 years and 3 months for selling 5 grams of meth on Naval Base Guam, and Matthew Salas will serve 4 years and 9 months for mailing 111 grams of meth to Guam from Arizona. Meanwhile, the trial for disbarred attorney John Bell who stands accused of holding his staff hostage and threatening them, has been set. He appeared before Superior Court Judge Maria Senzon yesterday after parties were unable to reach an agreement after the victims opposed the offer. Jury selection and trial are now set to begin on May 30 and is expected to last 10 days. The National Weather Service says a high risk of rip currents is in effect for Guam, Saipan, Tinian, and Rota through this afternoon for east-facing reefs. Inexperienced swimmers should remain out of the water. If caught in a rip current, swim in a direction following the shoreline, not against the current. Homeland Security and Civil Defense remind the community to they spelled it wrong. Heed the advice of lifeguards, beach patrol flags, and signs. Those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, thanks very much. 7:34 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. I was going to talk about a story that I saw. I've actually had this since last week, and I've been threatening to run it. But I'm going to give me a second to look it up on the World Wide Web so I can take a picture and put it up on the screen of somebody who used to be kind of a personality in his own right on Guam back in the I was going to say maybe the 80s or so. Well, as soon as I say the name, you'll recognize exactly who it is I'm talking about. Hey, it's Beyond the Box time on the Ray Gibson Show at 7:34. Swing by Beyond the Box at the Micronesia Mall, and they've got a big graduation blowout special that's going on right now until the end of May. New MacBook Air. With the new whatchamacallit processor and like 512 gigabytes of space on it, you can save $200 on that. Remember, they come in different colors, all kinds of great displays, and plenty more. So if you got a graduate in your life, or you want to save some money on a brand new computer, MacBook Air is waiting for you today at Beyond the Box.
Express yourself into the groove. The Guam Chamber of Commerce celebrates its 99th anniversary at the Dusatani Resort on May 6th with the theme of Madonna's Vogue. The Chamber's membership includes many corporations, large and small, entrepreneurs, and nonprofit organizations. Members play a key part in making Guam a star-bright place to live, work, and play. Let's congratulate the Guam Chamber of Commerce and its members on celebrating its 99th anniversary.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
7:36 Ray Gibson Show brought to you by the likes of Kim and Ron over at Security Title. You buying, selling something you need to know about, well, I mean, in real estate something. Maybe a hotel or maybe just a little single-family dwelling. Lots of details go into that. Get them all sorted out real fast, real clear from Kim and Ron at Security Title. What have I got? Traffic now? All right, let me see if I can find something on the map that is going to slow you down. Usually starting to build up. Yeah, it's that time. 7:36 and starting to busy up around Ipao, making your way into Isangsong Road. Also, likewise, southbound traffic out of Route 3 on the Marine Corps Drive, slowing down over at that particular intersection. Not crazy right now. And whatever was bubbling up around Ukadu is all gone by now. Seeing a little bit of intersection traffic on Route 16, but it gets ugly over at the 8, 10, and 16. Tri-intersection busy over at Super Happy Mart, busy on the Wendy's side, and then there's both sides of it on Route 8 as you get closer and closer to the downtown Agutnia area. Not a whole lot of dogging out traffic on Route 8. In fact, seeing things slowing down in more parts of Route 4, if that's the way you're coming in. 4 and 10 busy. The Apicento Gardens intersection busy. It's busy at the intersection at Ordot and up in Sinahanya, so it's going to take you a little bit of time. Maybe fewer lights up in that area. That's all I'm saying. Southbound Marine Corps Drive from the downtown Agutnia area all the way to Big Navy and Sumai should be running fairly clear. You will see some Marine Corps Drive traffic in Tamuning. I very rarely ever look at that. Mostly because I figure it's going to be busy at ITC building, right? It's going to be busy over at Jack in the Box, and that's what it looks like, southbound Marine Corps Drive. Busy at those major intersections, and as I zoomed in, recognized that things getting busy from about where Cars Plus is all the way in to where what's that venue is. So expect some traffic delays as you're making your way through drive time at 7:37 on The Point.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Save over $1,300 a year when you bundle your business mobile, internet, and phone at Docomo Pacific. Some conditions apply. Visit business.docomopacific.com to get an instant quote. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Okay, what am I supposed to do? Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Subway. You got to eat fresh or refresh to be fresh out there. And they got all kinds of great sandwiches that they want you to try. It's the Subway Series sandwiches. And you get platters delivered to your place with the Good2Go WeDeliver.com or the whole Good2Go app. Download that for the phone. Enjoy the convenience of having the all-new menu of 12 chef-inspired sandwiches delivered right to you. At Subway, you got to refresh to be fresh.
Rediscover Talk Radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
20 away from the top of the hour. Hi, Ray Gibson, a.k.a. Troublemaker. They just got through at the legislature with the override of the governor's veto of Bill 12. Which basically, I think as far as Adelup is concerned, they put out a pouty kind of release the other day that said, well, that's it for Lalu. No mo la lo, ladies and gentlemen. But I was reminded, because, I pay attention, that the Bill 12 also had a companion Bill 13 that was likewise vetoed by the governor once upon a time. And so I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with that. They're just going to leave that out there. I mean, there's always the possibility. And in fact, they're going back into session next week on the 9th or so. Are they going to take that up? I've been trying to, drip feed every chance I get talking to members of the 37th Guam legislature, trying to drip feed the idea that, they probably should. There may be some issues with transparency in the conversations that we have been complaining about and grinding on about the hospital for a little bit. And maybe with the passage of that, the override of that particular measure, maybe that would alleviate some of the concerns that we have about transparency when it comes to maybe the largest single investment that the people of Guam would be making by way of building this new billion-plus hospital. So we'll see what happens. So, I asked Joe to reach out to the Speaker of the Legislature and see if we can get her for just a couple of minutes.
It's a short call.
The elevator speech, right? Hey, you're going to do something with Bill 13? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. But I got this story last week, and I looked at it, and when I read the name, I said, wow, that is a familiar name. Kind of takes me back to, like, the 80s, I don't know, messing around at Hit Radio 100 in those days. And maybe when I read you the story and put the picture up on the air, some of the other old timers that will remember Guam in that time might recall the name. A Springfield man who has been blind for 4 years is recycling broken electronics to raise money for Christmas gifts for kids, and he's looking for a little help to go to visit his ailing mother in Guam. Heiko Van Halen. Heiko Van Halen. As soon as I read that name, I'm remembering vaguely. Yeah.
The Familien Van Halen. From Yamatic?
I don't know which village he's from. Says Heiko Van Halen has been recycling for the past 20 years. There's a picture of him up on the screen for those of you that might remember vaguely this guy from around these parts. He dissects them and then sorts out all of the components before turning them in. He's been recycling blind for the last 4 years and says at first it was very challenging, but he's gotten more accustomed to it year after year. It's been rough, but every day I learn something new about what needs to be processed in the recycling. Heiko Van Halen says he doesn't keep the profits from the recycling for himself. Rather, he chooses to give back. The money I get from the recycling, all of it goes back into the community. I have a friend who's been mailing care packages to in Central Point for the last 20 years. They told me one time, Heiko, if it wasn't for you, some of the families wouldn't have had Christmas. Heiko Van Halen says he's trying to visit his mother in Guam. He said she's losing her memory, and he'd like to visit her. He's set up a GoFundMe to make that trip a reality. The goal is to raise $7,000 to pay for the travel costs, passports, and give him a little bit of spending money before he gets there. Now, I was unable to find the GoFundMe page that he's referring to, but maybe you've got a little bit more time on your hands, not quite as busy as the morning mouth here at the radio station. You might be able to find it. Look for Heiko, Heiko Van Halen It's very possible that that somebody that is within the sound of my voice right now maybe went to school with the guy somewhere on Guam. Like I said, familiar name for a lot of different reasons, and now it looms up. God made that happen for a reason, so we'll see if we can help get this guy to town. Find his GoFundMe and see if you can help in the process. 7:43 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show, 888-825-5880-TALK. Checking up on some of the commentary on the Facebook Lives. Jerome McDonald online, Ron Castro going down memory lane, because I was talking about the Volkswagen on top of the pole in Agana. And
landmark.
Yeah, it was a landmark back in the day. You could still find pictures of it rolling around in social media. Somebody, no doubt, might have pictures of it in black and white and color from when we used to have these big knockdown, drag-out parades in the downtown Agutnia area. Ismail, I'd said what I'd like to see is if anybody's got a camera on the flight line over at Anderson Air Force Base, see if you can get pictures of those F-18s. That the Royal Australian Air Force left behind. And a note here from Ismail. Ray, taking pictures of the flight line will get you put in small package while your face accidentally gets exfoliated on the pavement.
Oh, wow. Then you got to do it for sure, Ray.
There's something along the lines of, son, that'll throw you in jail. They'll throw away the key and throw away the key that the box came in. DOC's got a job fair. Meanwhile, Adelup held one last year. Employees quit, get hired the next day with a huge payout. Thanks, Jose. Keena McCausland's online. Sherry Uriarty doing the peace sign. Shawnee Gumatauta, buenos and alpha day to you. Carlene Harker. Ruben Mortera is there. Steve and Liz Amaguian. How about the net payment at GMH holding off on payroll deductions for mortgage, car, or loan payments of GMH employees? Like I said, once upon a time, that got Benita Menglotnia terminated in her job at the Guam Memorial Hospital. And people around here asking, well, is that lightning going to strike? Yet again, the Christine Oliver's online. So is Greg Baz Knight. Sandra Regis is there. Hafa Ali Malakas. Mike Grace Bloss. Beautiful Sarita says, thank you, Mr. Jerry Roberts, for today's extra point. Human interaction is still the best. Yeah, we're big on touch, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Dennis Benzer. Heed. Who said heed? I'll take some of that. Let me see. Leslie St. Nicholas is there saying, Hafaloa from Eva Beach. Carl T.C. Gutierrez says his mom worked for us at Adelup. I told you somebody would know who I'm talking about. And it's former governor, Carl T.C. Gutierrez. The man has got a memory like a steel trap. And if anybody can find the GoFundMe, I'm sure he's got to have Valerie take a look and see if there's something can be done on that. Bertha Maza Cruz saying good morning to everybody. Heiko Van Halen is the name of the guy that I was talking about out in Springfield, Illinois, I guess, and now looking to come back home to visit his mother before things get too far gone. Quarter away from 8 o'clock in the morning. And we spent a little bit of time with Senator Jesse Anderson Lujan yesterday, lamenting the fact that we thought we had a fix on the luggage deal out at the Honolulu International Airport. And then I get a note from Mark Cruz saying, hey, I heard you had Jesse Lujan on the radio. What did he say? I'm like, dude, I'm too tired to type this thing out on the phone. So let me just get him back on and reiterate for the listeners what it is that you tried to do, what it was we thought we accomplished, and what travelers on UA 200 have to do now when they get to Hawaii.
Well, hey, good morning, Ray, Real Joe, and Donna D. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the directive that we received basically was that the Guam passengers disembarking on UA 200 Guam to Hawaii will no longer have to go through the horrifying experience.
Horrifying.
You know, taking your bag, opening it up, and then lugging it upstairs again, and going through agriculture and rechecking it into United ticket counter, and then walking down to Lobby 8. They said that has been alleviated. And, I asked people that I said, hey, look, I don't fly that route. So you got to let us know because we want to make sure that this is, in fact, in place. Well, we were sure there was in place. But, there was one thing that was alleviated, that we don't have to go through through agriculture.
Back up through agriculture. So you just
anymore.
Yeah. So you don't have to go up the elevator, right?
Well, no, you still do.
Oh, you still do.
You still do. The only thing that's been alleviated at this point is the having to go through agricultural check, which means again, and here's the argument in regards to, well, I mean, okay, so the whole place is a sterile area, right? I mean, it's a secure area. Otherwise, you would have to go through customs. Through agriculture again. So again, You still have to go up, still lug your bag, but you don't have to go through agriculture anymore. And instead of lobby 8, now you're lobby 6. So you're 2 lobbies shorter at this point. But it's still a horrifying experience. And I shot a letter out again to the governor, to Governor Green yesterday, Josh Green, and said, hey, look, this still is not fixed. I mean, if it was an attempted fix, and for the mechanical fix, I mean, you got to holistically fix this situation here, because this is a horrifying experience. And again, you're in regards to revenue, you're losing revenue because more people are traveling in a different direction, and so the revenue that you think you're going to be getting with the people disembarking, you're not going to get. And you don't get it now anyway, because they're rushing from the ticket
from point A to
counter
point B. Yeah, and it's not like the olden days. I mean, before deregulation, there was a time where you had to be very, very careful about very short layovers at the airports, and after they deregulated years ago, they just kind of threw those rules out the window. So we don't have a problem with you running like your hair is on fire from one side of a huge airport to the other side of the huge airport. 7:49 in the morning. Not necessarily why I called. I noticed as I was going through the legislature's website this morning, there's a couple of interesting bills that have been introduced. One of them talking about green rooftops, and then another one that I hope will help resolve some of the issues that we have, and that is by way of making it easier for the LEOs, the law enforcement agencies here, to be able to hire and do a better job of retention. You've named it the Comprehensive Crystal Meth Prevention and Improved Law Enforcement and Safety Act of 2023. I've not had the time to read it, so can you give me the Cliff Notes version of what's in Bill 108?
Yes, absolutely. The cliff notes on that, basically, Ray, we've been working on this since right after, I mean, even before the election, and then going and meeting with Customs and Quarantine and the police department and all that. And basically, Bill 108-37 LS is aimed, of course, squarely at reducing the importation and the distribution of crystal meth. It creates 12 new positions, inspectors for Department of Customs and Quarantine, dedicating to preventing, of course, crystal meth from entering ports of Guam, and also designating 5 drug detectives and drug prevention officer positions for the Department of or GPD, focus exclusively, of course, of investigating and fighting crystal meth here on Guam, acquisition of that, and acquiring canine drug detection dogs. This bill, of course, Ray, provides, the funding for the equipment and the support necessary for the Customs and Quarantine and drug detectives and the canine unit exclusively to do these jobs. And Ray, I've been waiting for the government to proclaim this a state of emergency in regards to drugs. So, I've been waiting for that because she can do this herself, right? She do this herself, but it hasn't been done. So, one of the things, of course, that Customs and Quarantine and GPD had always mentioned that their folks are getting pilfered. Once they get the experience, they're pilfered by other.
Well, apparently, everybody wants to work for Fed.
Absolutely. So here's an opportunity for us to pilfer from those agencies now, to get the experience, because we talk about other topics on a daily basis that makes the headlines, right? But every time Donna D reads the report, there's always a drug story in there. There's always a drug bust in there.
Oh, you know what? Even if it's just a simple assault, harassment, lousy behavior, unruly activities, whatever. Even if crystal methamphetamine isn't mentioned in the magistrate report of the stories, trust me, it's a factor. It's a factor in virtually everything. Talk to anybody at the Attorney General's office, prosecution branch, and they will tell you that crystal methamphetamine is the genesis of about 90+% of the stories and the cases that they've got to go through.
Absolutely, and of course, General Doug Moylan, toughest AG on crime, and we got to be able to support him as well. And this is part of the tools and mechanisms to be able to fight that. It cannot just be a one agency or one entity fight. It's got to be a holistic fight. And so this is what this bill's intended. We need to definitely attack the crystal meth problem, of course, at the points of importation, because we hear about drug bust, but we never hear it about our ports of entry, or hardly hear it about our ports of entry. Maybe the airport, U.S. mail and all that, right? So, we need, again, to be able
well,
to...
I mean, it does happen. I know the guys over at Customs, and they're more than happy to talk about the net that they are capturing at places like the airport and the port. But again, you and I are on the same page. That might just be a small fraction of what is able to get through into this town and get out there on the streets. So much so that they've seen the prices of crystal methamphetamine go down. Now, it might also be a purity issue. They might be stepping on it a couple of times, but still, in all, I mean, it's getting to a point where people are almost recreational in their use of crystal methamphetamine. We had that image. I'm sure you saw it last week of a woman riding, getting packed on a moped, lighting up and taking a hit of crystal methamphetamine, stuck in traffic out in Harmon. For heaven's sakes, people don't even care anymore. So, so this is going to help these guys hire and retain. I don't know that a lot of this might be a funding issue. Also, a co-sponsor on this bill is Senator Chris Barnett, and he's recently been having his get-togethers with the police department as well. There just seems to be a whole lot of red tape in front of people getting hired in these positions of law enforcement here on Guam. Is there a way in your mind that we might be able to, I don't know, temporarily take a look at some of the standards? I'm not saying drop the standards. I'm saying, is there a way that we can start getting people in uniform, and then as they progress in that career, get some of those requirements taken care of?
Yeah, it's not really, it's not really the entity in regards to try to get it in. Here's the thing, because you put this out, you're going to be looking at experienced folks in regarding to the crystal meth problem, right? And so these are specialty areas basically, and you're going to hire them for these specialty areas. And so one of the things, of course, that we've worked with or talked with the police chief and also the chief of customs and quarantine director regarding that, and maybe we pilfer back these people that have gone to other agencies and working on those entities, and they have gone through the academy and all that, and so those are things we need to look at. Those are the things that could be way based on their trainings already, so they probably won't have to go through
they don't have to start them all over again in elementary cop school or elementary DOC school or anything like that.
That's right.
All right. Well, it's a little bit clearer now that you explain it to me. But it is interesting that I'm glad that somebody is doing something about this. There's the idea that there ought to be some kind of a declaration of an emergency, but that has not taken place yet, as you point out.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and of course, we need more experience, and by the time all entities will tell you this. Whatever agency comes before the legislature, they need raises, because they lose them to other entities, they lose them to the federal government, they lose them to their private sector because of their expertise. So here's an opportunity for us to be competitive, to be able to get these specialty areas, because at GPD and Customs says, hey, they get to this point where this level and their expertise now is needed somewhere else, and their pay grade is a lot higher, so they lose them to whatever entity they go to.
Are there other funds available? I mean, I'm thinking there's a designation that we've applied for. We had applied twice under Levin Camacho and his Attorney General's office, and turned down twice. Likewise, in becoming an entity that could be described as a high drug utilization zone. Do you know what I mean? I forget what the acronym is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The funding.
Trying to figure out how we didn't do the report right, because as many problems as we have around here, you would think that would have been a slam dunk designation, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I don't know if that's something that Doug's got to do or.
Absolutely, but here's the thing. I mean, the administration always says, "Hey, we've got more money. We've been collecting more money. In the past. I mean, we're not at a deficit anymore, and here's the opportunity again to be able to do that, because this is something that is needed. And this again, doing as such, to be able to do this, we will be able to increase the amount of money the government collects, because if you lower crime, your area becomes a not a crime zone anymore, right? And so more people
there's a certain amount of peace I want back in the neighborhood.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure,
And certain significant fewer people that are out there causing a ruckus all the time. 7:58, Senator. I got to run. I got news coming up in front of me.
Well, thank you very much. I'll keep you updated.
I appreciate it. You have a great day. 888-8255. There's others. So I'm sorry. It's got to move through the call, the conversation. There's another piece of legislation that I thought was interesting. I got to read this while the Fox News is playing. It comes from the Youth Congress.
Yes.
No, what happened? No, I wasn't talking to the Youth Congress. That was Senator Jesse Lawn. To implement property tax abatement incentives to promote the implementation of green roofs and requiring a percentage of roofing areas for green roofs, certain qualifying certificates, and hotel developments. Kind of a clunky title for the thing. But I guess what the guys in the Youth Congress do is they want to make it so that the businesses, buildings with sufficient roof space on them for which we're doing, I don't know, community gardens or catching rainwater, or I don't even know what it is that they want to be able to do.
Just like driving range turf.
Yes. So that they can get some kind of an abatement on their taxes. Now, I'm going to read this because I want to see what it is that is going through these young brain powers, these red tape designers and bureaucrats to be, what it is that they're thinking of in the Youth Congress. But I do want to support them on a measure that has actually been introduced in the legislature, and it is the one that will allow for fewer community service hours for graduating students, of which if you're a parent of one of these kids in the Youth Congress, tell them they haven't gone far enough. Eliminate the program altogether. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. The radio station's KUSG. Got you 93.3 is the point. We peak as best or something like that. On the way back, I got Fox News. Donna D's going to have local news and headlines. Celebrity birthdays in the next hour. I know you tune in special just for that. So stick around, Brown. It's all happening here.
Raising the debt ceiling is set for a week from today. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer accuses House Speaker Kevin McCarthy of caving to extremists.
By passing the Default on America Act, he's handed the keys over to the House Freedom Caucus, who are more than happy to let the U.S. default if they don't get every last cut and every last unrelated hard right policy that they want.
The bill passed by the House last week raises the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion, but also includes sharp spending cuts. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell is calling for a compromise.
I'm for the Speaker, as I've said repeatedly, reaching an agreement with the president to deal with the debt ceiling.
President Biden called the meeting yesterday after Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned the U.S. could default as soon as next month. The Biden administration will send 1,500 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border as a migrant surge following the end of COVID-era restrictions next week is expected.
I think we'll see these troops arrive as early as May 10th and then in the coming weeks.
Pentagon spokesman General Pat Ryder, who says the troops will be sent to focus on administrative tasks so Customs and Border Patrol can work in the field. The Shelby County District Attorney says former Memphis police officer Preston Hemphill will not face criminal charges after he was accused of hitting Tyree Nichols with a stun gun during a traffic stop that preceded Nichols' fatal beating in January. Wall Street stocks closed lower as shares of troubled banks tumbled again, and worries about the economy worsened. The Dow lost 367, the Nasdaq off 132. America is listening to Fox News.
Subway's new Subway Series menu is a collection of greatest hits. But my number 7, the Mexicali, is on a whole nother level with the way avocado meets chicken and pepper jack cheese.
Outlaw! You tell them, Raiden. That's the number 2, the Outlaw Sandwich. They don't know flavor.
It's the greatest cheesesteak hit with juicy steak, pepper jack, and Baja Chipotle sauce.
There's a better meat and cheese pairing than that. Shanzi, justify my point, please.
Meatball, pepperoni, and mozzarella. That's number 6, the Boss Sandwich, because we're the bosses of flavor. We're done here.
At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Guam Regional Medical City is a leader in foot and ankle care in the Marianas. Our podiatry clinic aims to provide exceptional treatments for diabetes, ingrown nails, arthritis, corns, foot and ankle injuries, and much more. Let's get you back on your feet. To learn more, call GRMC's referral office at 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care.
The Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing today on Supreme Court ethics reform.
At a Senate hearing looking at Supreme Court ethical standards, retired federal judge for the Northern District of California, Jeremy Fogel, called for change.
The principal point of my testimony is that I think the court does need greater transparency in the way it engages with judicial ethics.
Chief Justice John Roberts declined to testify in the hearing. He noted testimony by the Chief Justice of the United States is exceedingly rare due to separation of powers concerns and preserving judicial independence. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Italy's government has approved a labor market reform that looks to get people back to work.
Italy's government making a symbol out of the fact that it went to work on Labor Day yesterday, May 1st being a holiday in much of Europe. But the relatively new right-wing government of Giorgia Meloni took action, cutting some benefits for those who don't work, distinguishing between those who should be able to work and don't, and those who really can't. The point, she said, was to incentivize people to get into jobs. This drew quick criticism from the opposition, who said it was heartless and would be harmful to many Italians. Meloni also took action to make it easier for employers to hire people on a short-term basis in an attempt to loosen up Italy's notoriously inflexible labor market. Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
The Late Night Talk Show is the first casualty of the Hollywood writers' strike. All of them will be in reruns tonight as members of the Writers Guild of America go on strike for the first time in 15 years. The union and Hollywood studios failed to reach an agreement over several issues, including compensation for streaming. NBC is not commenting on what will happen with Saturday Night Live this weekend. It's supposed to be a new show with Pete Davidson hosting. About 11,500 film and television writers have walked out. I'm Lee Sarah, and this is Fox News.
Yeah, not to sound too snarky here. And I know I'm breaking a little bit of the format. Not to sound too snarky, but how will we be able to tell that the writers have gone on strike? They've been rehashing and sequeling and prequeling everything for the last 10 years anyway. So I don't know. And besides, I'm on streaming services, so I don't know how much of that I'm going to notice anyway. 5 after 8 o'clock. And just before we get into Donna D with the news on screen right now on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and The Point, this is a real-time image of what traffic is looking like on the back road to Anderson. Southbound is ugly. So right around the Onward Mangilao Golf Club area is Becco. Southbound from there, looks like there's an accident in front of the Eagles Field down at Lalu, as a matter of fact. Looks like we've got an accident that is working down there, and it is causing serious traffic backups. Now, for a lot of people, the only move might be to turn around and head back up to Atacao and make your way back, unfortunately, onto Marine Corps Drive, going through Leche Macheche, and then dealing with the intersection traffic in Dededo, or you just got to wait it out. Thanks for the heads up on that, Tammy from the post office. Also got a picture on screen right now of what it is that is holding the traffic up. Now, this was taken about 15 minutes ago. We've got a big fire truck on the scene. Looks like a car off the road, but I can't make out too many other details from there. If you're in the area and got pictures, by all means, go ahead and send them in, 797-8255, and we'll put those on the air. It's 8:06, and now with the setup on the news, here's Real Joe. Brought to you by
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Join us on May 12th as we host our annual PBS Guam Pledge Drive. Tune in and show your support for quality, educational, and entertaining programming. Your contributions help us continue to bring you thought-provoking documentaries, captivating cultural programs, and engaging children's shows. So tune in to PBS Guam Friday, May 12th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and pledge your support to help us keep Guam enriched, inspired, and entertained. Viva!
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:08. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. 39-year-old BJ Martin Raymond is facing drug and assault charges for threatening to kill a woman. GPD officers met with the woman last week who said she received 2 threatening phone calls from Raymond telling her he would kill her and burn down the house with everyone inside. The woman believed he was capable of carrying out the threats to harm her and her family, citing his previous assault against her and his drug use. Raymond was later found in the victim's car. She gave consent to a search, and officers found Raymond's ID, a glass pipe with burnt residue, and a baggie filled with meth. In January, officers met with the same woman who reported Raymond had assaulted her. She said he had struck her face and used a spear rod to strike her legs and body. A family member heard her screaming and was able to stop Raymond. He had also threatened that he would kill her, and she believed that he was under the influence of meth. Raymond was charged with aggravated assault, family violence, and possession, and harassment. Meanwhile, cops stopped a car on Sunday morning for not having a front license plate and having expired tags. The driver, 23-year-old Tobias Ray Cruz, Andrew Tolentino Concepcion, and another male passenger did not have a driver's license. Court documents state that Cruz told police that there was an ice pipe inside the car. Officers saw a modified glass pipe with a bulbous end which contained a frosty residue suspected to be meth. When Cruz's pockets were emptied, a small resealable baggie with suspected meth residue fell out. Concepcion was seen holding a yellow Pelican case and appeared to be taking extra care pulling out items from the case. When asked if there was anything of concern within it, Concepcion said that he had just a plate, street slang for half a gram. A search of the case yielded a digital scale, empty resealable baggies, and a reusable baggie with meth. Cruz and Concepcion have been charged with possession. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid, go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The governor's office yesterday blamed Senator Frank Blas Jr.'s amendment to the pay raise funding legislation for delays in the actual pay increases for mostly GDOE employees, calling it an unnecessary bureaucratic red tape. Blas said Adelup had weeks to submit what he deems a simple report of plans that can be prepared in a day. In response to Adelup's statement, Blas said, "Don't blame me for your ineptness." Covered GovGuam employees expected the 22% pay increase for the April 22 PPE to be reflected in their April 28 paycheck. Employees in the executive branch, the judiciary, and other agencies got their adjusted pay, but those with DOE did not. The governor's director of communications, Crystal Paco San Agustin, says Senator Blas is mistaken. The problem was caused by his amendment. She adds that Blas should know that the department needed funding to implement the pay adjustments, saying the bill was introduced by the governor would have funded the pay adjustments immediately. Adelup says the administration is working with GDOE on implementing their new pay scales. And the government's Compact Impact Report for 2019 and 2020 states that Guam has incurred $76.8 million in costs for providing social services to freely associated migrants. The territory receives about $14 million in annual compact reimbursements from the $30 million allocated for host jurisdictions. The annual Compact Impact funding provisions, which expire on September 30, will not be renewed, and Guam will have to shoulder the costs of hosting migrants. Vice Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes, Speaker Therese Terlahi, and Minority Leader Senator Frank Blas Jr. introduced a resolution yesterday asking the Biden administration to reinstate the Compact Impact reimbursements and discretionary funds for Guam. Terlahi says failure to mitigate the impacts of this U.S. policy on Guam and other host communities will directly and unfairly affect the ability of our schools, hospitals, and social services agencies to provide critical basic services to all the residents of Guam. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Well, I get around to the weather here. I just wanted to thanks very much for the video Steve from Dededo sent in, and it's a picture of ugly traffic. He's headed opposite the lane of travel here on the back road to Anderson, and Tammy Post Office says, yeah, it looks like it's backed up for miles. And I can't verify based on this footage that it is miles, but there is a whole lot of ugly traffic on the back road to Anderson. Again, it looks like there's I don't want to call it a fender bender because I saw a couple of pictures of the vehicles that were involved in the accident, and there's like parts missing, like they were there overnight and Asaki Milanias went and took everything off. I mean, the damage was that heavy to the vehicles. So if you're stuck in traffic there, again, it looks like the only way that you're going to get around that is by hanging a Louis and going back where you came from. But yeah, and now look at it. It's even worse. It's gotten worse. There's the actual connection. There was originally a break, but it looks like where the accident is now has got southbound traffic snarled all the way now past the onward Mingilao.
See if that hospital there, Ray, they could just go straight to that hospital, but no, Ray didn't want a hospital there.
But no, the legislature had to put the kibosh on the Lalu Hospital project. I'm with you. What's the matter with these people? 8:13 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Land, just kidding. All right, what do I got to take care of? Donna asked for some weather. Let me give her that weather. Here's by request. Here's this morning's weather. Mostly sunny. Highs near 87 degrees. With a heat index next couple of days going to feel like 94 degrees. We've got east-northeast winds up to about 15 miles an hour. We're going to get some gusts here, and that's going to drive some rip current warnings that we've got on the eastern side of the island. But be careful no matter where you are when you're in the water. Mostly sunny tomorrow with highs around 87 degrees. Mostly sunny on Friday. Again, highs near 86 degrees. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:37. Hashtag tell the others. I always feel like I need to, they've got guys that'll do rules of engagement. And the reason why I always say hashtag tell the others when we do sunset is because there was a time where, we were COVID lockdown and nobody was allowed to go out there and do anything. And you risked, getting busted, pinched by the cops or maybe somebody from the Department of Environmental Health and the Department of Public Harassment and Secret Service would come by and try to move you along. And that was our way of saying, me and my friends have got a secret place to go and watch the sunset. Hashtag tell the others. That was just a way of spreading the word that we're still doing it no matter what. It's 8:15 in the Ray Gibson Show. Be right back.
Hey there, folks. It's me, KFC's Extra Crispy Colonel. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the original recipe, but in this sizzling summer heat, I'm feeling a little extra crispy. My KFC Extra Crispy Chicken is freshly double-breaded and fried to a luxurious, mouth-watering bronze. You see, Extra Crispy KFC Chicken isn't just a product, it's a lifestyle.
Pick up your KFC Extra Crispy meal today. KFC is extra finger licking good. Struggling to find the perfect Mother's Day gift? Look no further. For a limited time, get a new iPhone 14 on GTA's Live Unlimited plan. And you'll not only make Mom's day, but also get her a free Apple Watch. Help Mom stay connected, monitor her health, and keep track of her fitness goals with just a tap. It's a gift that will make her life easier and more stylish. Don't wait. Head to your nearest GTA retail location and get your iPhone 14 and free Apple Watch today. Happy Mother's Day, GTA. We start with you.
Portions of the program here brought to you by the guys over at APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and NissanGuam.com of the World Wide Web. I'll always give you the website because this gasoline is still over $5 a barrel. For some reason, I don't know. West Texas is dropping all across the country down to $71 or so for a barrel of West Texas crude. Looking to find out if I can get a lower price on Tapas besides $80.15. At any rate, the deal here is that gas is always going to be kind of astronomical as long as Biden's in the White House. So what you're going to want to do is make preparations for that over the next couple of years by buying a car that gets you really, really good mileage. And Nissan is just loaded with all kinds of vehicles out there that will get you very cool mileage. Get yourself a test drive and get into a Frontier, the Armada, the Titan, the Sentra, the Murano. Zero down, and Nissan will make the first 3 payments for you. It's a great deal. Don't pass it up. Test drive and test out NissanGuam.com.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
the happiest girl in the whole USA, Dennis Benzer, with Wordle in 3.
Wow.
Using the golf analogy for scoring, that is a birdie.
That's a
Guy
big
got
birdie.
a birdie, yes. So 3 is a birdie, 4 is par, and 5 obviously bogey and then double bogey.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2 are the other.
Look at you, DB.
What you're not? That's okay. So Wordle, you've got 6 chances to get the word based on the thing. So if you can get it in 1, obviously that's a hole in 1. If you get it in 2, that's an eagle. It's a birdie. If you get it in 3, 4 is par for most Wordle days, and then you got bogey and double bogey. That's the way we do that. But Dennis Benzer swung by the radio station, didn't have a chance to run out and talk to him, and dropped off my my refrigerator magnets.
Oh, wow.
I do not currently have one from Palau. I do now. Thank you very much, DB. Appreciate that. And then I've got one here.
Is that made out of turtle shell, Ray?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is made out of turtle shell. I don't know how he was able to sneak that out.
Smuggled in somehow.
Yeah. And Napoleon Rass. Hey, hold on. And then there's this one here, and it's got kind of a 3D kind of feel to it. This is the one that he got when he was in Cebu in the Philippines. Very nice little picture that he's got.
Is
the
that
thing.
a saint?
It's a baby Jesus.
It's a baby Saint Jesus.
It's the Santo Niño. You know, you're messing with it. And all kinds of people have got their. You guys say bless you and breathe in like that. Thank you. There you go, Donna. 888-825-888-TALK. I have no idea where we're going next in the program. I did want to mention a couple of people that were online, including Pete Lozano, Vince Delgado, Marvin Crisostomo, Steve and Liz Jimenez Hessa. Imagine the new hospital is built at Eagles Field, and this is what the ambulance driver sees. Oh, Joe, Jose, no. No, they would put in $1 billion worth of improvements in the area if the hospital was going to be put up there. But the interesting question now is where? Where will it go? If we're not going to put it in Manila, which I can't find anybody in the medical community on Guam that wants it out there, even the people that have clinics, like Vince Akimoto, he's got a clinic out there.
Yeah.
And hey, Vince, you want a hospital down the street? No,
not in my backyard.
I'm okay. I got another shop down in Tumuning, so it's okay. But there's now the question is, where is it going to go? They had their hesitations on putting it on the smallish footprint that is the grounds of the old Guam Memorial Hospital. You know where the Archbishop Circle is?
I do.
Yeah, there used to be on the other side of the boondocks there.
Oh yeah,
an old white elephant that was the Guam Memorial Hospital that I was born in many years ago. Wow. And it was good at that time, and then the government of Guam got a hold of it and just turned it to crap. Yeah. And then they had a bunch of people. The nuns wanted to build up the medical center of the Marianas, and they did. And that was also likewise their political. You can read up on this. This is actually true. You can read up on how the government of Guam actively took steps to kill the old MCM so that they could take it over, and it would be the new and improved Guam Memorial Hospital. And then within a couple of months of them taking over, all of a sudden elevators didn't work, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and these little death by 1,000 cut deals. But anyway, that's enough of the history lesson. I assure you, Jose, that no matter where the new hospital goes, there will be a companion investment in the infrastructure, road-wise and utility-wise, and water and internet and that kind of thing, to ensure that the traffic is not going to be impeded by the occasional car wreck. 21 after 8 o'clock in the morning, and you've got the telephone numbers. There were a couple of things that I needed to get out and put on the air. One of them, I was talking with Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan in the last hour of the program, and one of the things that we went to talking about is, what are the availabilities, what are the opportunities lined up with this designation? And I couldn't remember the name of the designation. God bless Paul Tapau. I need audio on this one. Paul Tapau actually
is he cussing on this one?
He is not cussing in this.
Thank you, Paul Tapau.
I don't think
Sarge.
he's cussing in it, but this is basically the program that I was trying to get after here.
It's called a HIDA designation. The petition was to show that Guam was a high drug activity, but we got denied twice.
Yeah. Okay. See, he went all the way through it. Didn't no F-bombs, nothing like that. Good job. The HIT high-intensity drug trafficking area, and I don't know how it is possible that we didn't get that. Because every story,
we're just hitting the pipe out in public, Ray.
They're smoking, they're taking their hits off the pipe in real time, and you just go, how is it possible we didn't get that? I don't want to cast aspersions at the guy that had the job when they applied for it at the Attorney General's office. I'm just going to suggest that maybe there needs to be somebody, I don't know, study for the test. You know what I mean? Study to the test, and then let's try it again, and let's see if we can get a strike on that and see what kind of federal backup we might be able to get in that. 8:22 in the morning, and got to spend some time with my very close, very dear personal cousin, Troy, from Candid News. Yes. But buenas and Abade, cuz, how you doing?
Buenas, Prim, I'm okay.
That's
Heading
nice.
out of the house to head to the office. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Where are you at? What office are you in?
I'm leaving the office in Barragata and heading to the office in Ganya.
Oh, right on. Okay. So, do you have special parking as a tenant in that building?
We have a designated parking spot. Yeah, we have one.
Does the PDN building still have the meanest guard in the world?
They have very efficient and effective security there. Yes.
Okay.
So,
since I was a boy,
a short little madman.
Since they built that building, there has always been the parking lot, the PDN parking lot Kuya, and if you were in the wrong spot, he'd let you know in about 10 seconds. 8:23 in the morning. I'll just kill a little bit of time with the small talk.
we feel very safe in that building. I'll tell you that, and it's a great place to be, actually.
Well, I did note something, and I wanted to put this out on the air because I don't want any Gov Guamness creeping into that building. But when I press the number 7 in the elevator, it doesn't light up.
Oh yeah, that's so we call her Guadalupe. She's a little girl, Don't know the story, but she got a name. We named her that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You named the elevator Guadalupe?
No, not the elevator.
Oh, there's an actual little girl there named Guadalupe.
Well, I mean, people have said that I haven't seen her, but you hear things at night. And this one time, Eric was there late at night, and he goes, "Chalo, I have to leave right away because coming from the Community First side, and I know no one's there.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Community First headquarters temporarily is just right next to it. I know no one's there, and I just heard things, so I split. I locked the door and I split. And so like a week later, I go to use the restroom late at night, and there's this guy that comes out of Community First, and I'm like, "Hey, you guys are working late." He goes, "Well, there's always someone here 24 hours."
That's what you're hearing, Eric. Never mind the rules. No, we ought to do that, actually, because people will tell you the truth, bro. Sometimes I start in with, "Hey, I heard your hotel is haunted," and they try to change the subject, but people will tell you stories. There are some haunted hotel facilities. There used to be, I want to say at what is, it's not the Onward Agania anymore, but I want to say in that building, there was a phone that they couldn't get to stop ringing, even if it was unplugged. And they tell me there's also at Nico there's a couple of spots.
There is no greater devil than the one that has dwelt inside me, and so I have no fear of the Satan outside. I'm just like, go away, Satan. You don't want mine coming out.
Yeah, I got you covered. Whatever you think you're good at, I got you beat. And got a story here. Accident over at Untalan Middle School. There's some lousy driving going on today. So we've got an accident on Route 15 over by Eagle Field. Not coincidental at all. Slowing things down up around the Onward Mangilao Golf Course and then southbound through there. Expect a long delay. And then now the other thing is everybody's going to get on the other side of that and the intersection at 10 and 15. Isn't any good either. Also getting word just now from Ismail that there's an accident at Untalan Middle School, and I'm looking at that on the traffic gizmo, and yeah, it's starting to come up. So as you get closer and closer to Wendy's and that entire intersection, expect some delays as you're moving through there. And then it's just kind of ugly traffic in a couple of other spots that I was looking at here just a second ago. Interstate Marine Corps Drive from just as you pass the Micronesia Mall, Marine Corps Drive southbound until you get to about right here, DPW, et cetera, and Kmark intersection. Likewise, running busy. Be careful on the road. 827. Anyway, Cousin Troy's on the line with me. The reason why is I want a couple of things that are are worth talking about here. One of them is what's going on with payroll at Guam Memorial Hospital.
Well, I got confirmation from a retirement fund that a few weeks ago they failed to remit contributions to the retirement fund. So that's part of the whole gross payroll equation, which every government agency is required to make. So you can say you make $1,000 and say you get $200 in benefits, and you have another $200 in deductions made, right? I'm sorry. Say you normally get $1,000 paycheck.
Okay.
And so in total, your gross payroll is going to be $1,400. GovGuam is required to pay that entire $1,400. They have some leeway. They can pay some things a few working days after the paycheck comes out. But like your deductions to the bank for your mortgage, car, whatever, they have to pay that like along with your paycheck, right? And then the agency makes the payment for you. That's the whole thing about the deduction, right?
Yeah.
We don't know because GMH is being completely opaque about this. We didn't get.
You know what? It's the 0.9% of the system that's not working. Maybe that's it.
Well, you know, there are other rumors that we're trying to about that whole thing that we're trying to chase down as well. But we have no faith or confidence that GMH is going to provide truth and answers. But we were able to confirm that a few weeks ago, retirement fund didn't get the money they were supposed to get from GMH for their employees within the statutory time frame or deadline. And then recently, and I don't know if GMH made the payment since Monday, but on Monday they were supposed to make a retirement fund payment for the payroll that happened April 8th. And as of the time of the publication of our story, they hadn't made that payment. I circled back to retirement fund about that. But to this day, GMH has not responded to our now going on 3 weeks request for this information, which is very, so I keep getting the runaround. I keep getting, these carefully parsed statements from them. I asked them, have you guys fallen behind on gross payroll? And the answer that comes back is we are on schedule or something like that. We are on schedule with payroll. But that wasn't my question. My question was, over the recent past, did you guys legally do net payroll only? And it's an important question. Number one, because of the financial, it's an indication of the financial situation of the government. Number two, an indication of the financial situation of GMH. Number three, all of this was happening around the time that the legislature was debating all that GMH stuff. And so were they trying to gaslight the legislature as well? I asked the speaker whether she was aware of this whole gross payroll issue. She said no, news to her. And so, there's something going on.
It's typical government of Guam transparency then.
I don't think it's just transparency. That's definitely transparency or opacity.
But that's what I meant.
The financial position of the government, because we've been sold on this bag of tricks from the governor that, this is the best financial situation there's ever been in forever. And, there are symptoms of those lies that are coming forward.
Well, are you talking to any actual GMH employees and what their experience is there? Are they just getting regular paycheck stubs that show that money has been taken, out of their gross pay and then sent over to the retirement sources or the retirement accounts, so and their car loans and whatever child support that they've got otherwise deducted from there as well?
That's how we know about it. And so it isn't the retirement or the health insurance unless you make a claim against it and retirement or health, the health insurance company tells you, I'm sorry, but we don't have the...
Which has happened before.
The only time a government employee will know that their gross payroll wasn't made on time is when their deduction for a loan wasn't made and
the bank calls.
And the bank calls.
Hello, this is collections from Bank of Guam. Is William there? William is dead. That's the standard response for anybody that calls my house and asks for William. All right, so there's that. It's interesting from a lot of perspectives, and among them, and I talked about this earlier based on the article that you've got on Candid News, is there was a once upon a time, and lover or hater, but maybe one of the hardest working people when she got, in the government, and when she got to GMH, I want to say she busted hump to try to turn that ship around. Benita Menglutnya, who had actually, in my mind, was one of the saviors of the Medicaid at Guam Memorial Hospital at the time. And they number one, Adelup took credit for the work that she did, and then number two, when they got into a net payroll situation, they canned her.
So the irony behind Benita is that they canned her right before the fruits of her labor started to show, and she was the one who. It's not even argued. It's just a fact. She got temporary rebate, and it was something that even her boss, her former boss, Eddie Cabo, wanted to happen but didn't think would happen. Mm-hmm. But she did it. She worked a miracle in Washington, D.C., got a rebate, got us a larger reimbursement, set GMH on a course for greater financial sustainability. And right before those reimbursements came in, they canned Benita for this whole net payroll thing back in 2019. And then, the money starts coming in, and the governor, of course, takes all the credit. She says, because of our good financial management of the Guam Memorial Hospital, we have, we're good now. And so, fast forward to today, and Benita's gone, who arguably was the person who set GMH on a good financial footing. Now the hospital is no longer on good financial footing, apparently, because they're only making net payroll, and they are only making net payroll. And I don't know where the firing of their CFO is, but they canned the previous CFO for this. What's the difference?
Interesting. 8:33. There's one other interesting story that I found on Candid, and it's a continuation of something that between Cousin Troy and Attorney General Doug Moylan have been on a truth trip over the course of the last, what is this now, the third installment of the paperwork from the Attorney General's office. And what happens when people are released in the courts when they go in front of the judge? Sometimes we'll go back into the lockup and pray for your sins. And then in other cases, there is a number of individuals that are just let go, maybe on their own personal recognizance or whatever, despite the pleas of the prosecutors and the Attorney General's office, go out there and make new victims.
Yeah, and so, anecdotally, we see it every day when there are repeat names. And a lot of times you don't even have to wait for DOC to send over the mugshots, because you can match up the name, match up the birth date. And
yeah. This same guy. We can use this old picture.
Yeah, we can use this old picture. And so, this comes as no surprise, but thanks to this data compilation by the Attorney General's office, and really what he's doing is he's doing the job of newsrooms. Newsrooms are supposed to be compiling this data, but he's doing it, making our jobs easier and making it easier for the public to see, exactly what's going on with this whole catch release reoffending, and it's real, and some people might say, yeah, but you're innocent and still proven guilty. I get that. Believe me, I get that. But come on. All of this additional violent crime, these victims are, it's not like there aren't victims.
There's a whole spate of new ones that seem to be coming out here, and it looks like in the lead here, Judge Benjamin C. Son has released 18 individuals that have led to 18 new victims. Am I reading that right?
That's only in a 40-day period. That's not even throughout the year. That's just a 40-day period, if you look at the dates on the thing.
And Judge Jonathan Kwan, at number 2 here, has released 10 alleged offenders, and they have gone out and well, maybe there's more of them. I'm not sure if I'm phrasing this correctly. So of the folks that Jonathan Kwan have released, 10 of them have reoffended
in a 40-day period.
In a 40-day period. Then you've got one for Alberto Tolentino, a couple for Vern Perez, one for Marie Senzon, the presiding judge, Alberto Lamarena, the third, with a couple of new violations, alleged violations, based on people that were otherwise released for whatever reason. So this is the part that infuriates, I think, the people of Guam when we recognize, as you will, that there are people that belong behind bars and for whatever reason have figured out how to game the system. Maybe somebody over at the public defenders are helping them. Maybe Peter Santos is that good in being able to convince them that they're not going to be bad, that they're not going to reoffend, but they do within 40 days, he says.
Well, it's the public defender's job to defend them, so we can't blame them for just doing their job. But one of the attorneys reached out and said, this is in response to our story. They were like, this is absolute BS. There are now 821 or 828 inmates and detainees over at DOC. And my thought to that is, it's not the Attorney General's job to care whether DOC has the capacity. It's the AG's office duty to care whether violent offenders are out on the street.
And violent offenders have been released and to re-offend. It is the cycle. And as I said, as a taxpayer of Guam, as a citizen of Guam, I think that we have all had enough of this. Deportables need to be deported, and anybody that continues to be a menace to society around here needs to be put behind bars. And if it's an uncomfortable experience, well, that's too bad.
The Attorney General is doing the job that we elected him to do, and he's doing a darn good job at it. I wouldn't be surprised if Doug Moylan is the most popular elected official in Guam right now.
I don't know. Barnett and Chach, to the degree that there's a direct impact on people's lives. Anyway, interesting stuff. You're going to be working on something today. I noticed that you had a thing in there about Ralph Cheeto.
Yeah. Every now and then, Guam and the scene and I like to have hold my beer moments.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got corruption cornered on our island, and so Guam has gotten the spotlight for the past few weeks, and the scene and I is like, we're taking this spotlight back. We're going to have corruption hearings.
Yeah. Can he be held accountable for that, being the former governor of NMI?
What this sounds like is that this is going beyond the former governor's conduct and into the conduct of his administration, which would include a former Guam senator who was his chief of staff, who is rumored to be running for senator under the Republican banner again on Guam. And I have a strong feeling that Will Castro is going to be called back to be sworn in or to provide sworn testimony.
As a witness. Well, that'll make things interesting. 20 away from the top of the hour. But remember what you said. You remember what you said about Guam voters.
He's gonna have to account for what he said in the first round of hearings late last year, and then the people who testified after him who directly contradicted him.
Yeah.
And so, I think he's going to be asked a lot about that. Like, are you saying that these people are lying? What about this document that says something very different from what you told us under oath the last time? I think the people of Guam really need to pay attention to these hearings in the CNMI, especially where they involve former Guam Senator Will Castro.
Well, as long as you keep making them interesting, then I think people will be watching. 20 away from the top of the hour. Cuz, you have a fantastic rest of the day and enjoy turning on the light. On the candid.
Yeah, I'm in candid over here.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon. Cousin Troy, 888-825-5888, TALK. And thanks for everybody reaching that heard what I said and helped out, including Donna D. We've got the link now to the GoFundMe. It is you can link on it at the Facebook broadcast. You can find it on the YouTube, which is at The Ray Gibson Show on YouTube. Go find it. And right around the bottom will be a link to GoFundMe. And there's a picture of Heiko Van Halen organizing the fundraiser. He needs $7,000 to come home to visit his mother, who is his health is in decline, and he wants to visit her. I need to come up with the funds for plane tickets, a passport, and a caregiver to bring with me. I hope to find some assistance with these fees, as I'm unemployed and can't do much for myself. I appreciate any sort of support. Thank you so much from Heiko Van Halen. And we've got the GoFundMe links up there. And unfortunately, he's only raised $455 since he put this thing together. I don't know what the timelines are, but, there is some urgency to a mother whose health is in decline. If you remember who the guy is, and I won't fault you if you don't. I've just got some vague memories, and obviously a name like Heiko Van Halen is something that doesn't diminish in the brain cells all that much. So, and Carl Gutierrez says his mom used to work for him over at Adelup back in the day. So there might be a couple other people that will remember and might help Heiko Van Halen get back home to visit his mom one last time. It's 8:42 in the Ray Gibson Show. Donna D with her last look at big news and headlines is coming up right after these.
Need help with affordable legal services? ProSay 101 is here to help. Our services are here to help you independently create your own legal documents for divorce, trust, probate, power of attorney, and many other cases. To find out more, call now at 800-303-9240. That's 800-303-9240. Or visit us at PROSE101.com. That's PROSE101.com. PROSE101.com. The legal document people.
Celebrating BK's 34th anniversary, Whopper Wednesday is back every Wednesday in May. Visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, I love the Whoppers, and get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your friends and family and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in May. Available at BK Agutnia, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Thank you, Guam, for 34 years. You rule. Ooh, with the fancy new music. Lasers. It's nice. It's 8:43 Ray Gibson Show. Is what is it, Wednesday? God, it's a slow Wednesday, isn't it? It's a slow Wednesday. I'm trying to get people on the radio and raise some hell, and it just, I had Jesse on, I had Frank on, I got Cousin Troy on, and it just apparently there's just no hell raising today, or maybe it's because everybody's stuck in traffic virtually all around the island. Let me just scooch out before I don't normally do traffic this late into the program, but we've had issues. All right, back road to Anderson looks like that's all cleared up. Looks like everybody is finally on the move. I'm not seeing a whole lot of delays. There might still be a little bit of traffic over by Ladera, but that's it's affecting northbound traffic. The new accident was on Untalan, was in front of Untalan on Route 10. That one looks like it is working heavily here this morning, so expect some delays if you're headed towards 8, 10, and 16 on Route 10. If you got time, you might want to loop around and go through Price and get out on Dairy Road and take Route 4 into town. Looking at ugly traffic, not too far away from where we are here. It started bubbling up just before you got into the Tumon entrance by the west end. It looks like we've got still some slower traffic southbound on Marine Corps Drive. Don't see anything else that is going to slow you down too much big time. So just be careful out there and, just enjoy the radio, okay? I try not to give you any white-knuckle stuff to aggravate you and make you want to split the road real fast. It's 8:44, and time for our last big look at news and headlines with Donna D'Avadana. What happened?
Troy Damien, who bragged about killing Michael Castro, will head to trial after the prosecutor assigned to the case left the AG's office. Yesterday's hearing was vacated after the court learned there was no movement since being told parties were negotiating a plea deal. The court will schedule a new trial date if Damien does not reach a new agreement. Damien and co-defendant Nicholas Moore both stand accused in the 2020 murder of Castro. Moore is being tried separately. And while no minimum wage increase bill has been introduced yet, Senator Roy Kinata will have an informational briefing on the matter at 2 o'clock this Friday. The idea is to consider raising the private sector minimum wage to mirror GovGuam's recent 22% increase. Chamber of Commerce Chairman Ed Untalan says the chamber is against it, stating a wage hike will hurt small businesses, not big ones. He adds that prices will go up and staff will go down because employers can't afford to pay them. And today is the last day of GCC's weekly takeout lunch plate event. The final theme before the spring semester ends is Korean cuisine. On the menu is
kimchi. There's kimchi in here somewhere.
I didn't see it. Jumok bab or rice balls for appetizer, entrees, japchae, samgyeopsal gui or pork belly, and soy honey chicken skewers with tea cookies for dessert. It's a cash-only event from 11 to 12:30 at the Culinary Kitchen in Building 400. Please bring a reusable bag. That was your last look at local headlines on the point. Now back to Ray. What's so funny?
There is no kimchi on this.
There isn't.
Korean buffet thing.
Maybe they didn't have time to,
$1.49 you can get the red one at virtually any store on Guam, right? Any mom and pop store on Guam, they got the
kimchi in your pocket.
I like the one in the glass jar with the yellow
the yellow top
lid. Yeah.
So I like the $1.49 ones because it's like just enough for me. And after that, I'm sated. I'm happy. I've gotten my probiotic fix for the day. When I have all of that, $10. This is going to be the best meal deal that you're going to find here on Guam. And this is the last of them for this season, right?
Yeah, because school is over.
And school is going to be over, and that's going to be it for them, again, from 11 until 12:30 or until supplies last. Last week, when we talked to the girl.
The girl.
When we talked to the girl, she said that they had already sold on the Japanese. What was it? The Japanese one last week or Chinese, Vietnamese, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thai, dude.
Yeah.
They're all the same Asians, Orientals.
What kind of knees are you? Vietnamese, Japanese,
Philippines,
Koreanese. Anyway, so she said that Sella was her name. Sella said that of the 200 or so that they had to prepare, 100 of them were already pre-sold. And so that's my guess is this week they probably pre-sold a whole heck of a lot of these. So 11 o'clock is when you want to be by GCC, not 12, not 12:30. You want to be there at 11 because it's possible that if you get there too late, there ain't going to be none anymore. 8:47 on the Ray Gibson Show. I'll be right back.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and Urgent Care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Oh, yeah, there you are.
Peter Santis. He's he just said he's sending some stuff. He's I don't know. I don't know what it means. There's there's words underneath. It's a GIF, one of those animated GIFs of a girl. It's a pretty girl. She's got big, she's got her hands covering her mouth because she's smiling, and she also doesn't have any teeth in the front. That's why she's covering her mouth. 8:49, the Ray Gibson Show, and portions here brought to you by who's this?
Nobody, man. I forgot to.
Oh,
I just wanted to prove I'm not AI and I make mistakes.
Right. It's all of that.
I blew it, Ray.
All right, well, that's okay because you allow me now to segue into the story about AI that I wanted to talk about earlier. The godfather of AI has quit Google and joined a growing chorus of experts warning that the rush to deploy artificial intelligence could lead to disaster.
No, who is he? Who's the Nino?
Jeffrey Hinton is his name. He left Google so he could speak freely about the dangers of rushing generative AI products. He says it's hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using it to do bad things. AI experts, developers, researchers, and regulators, they were asked to sketch out their most plausible disaster fears. At number one, the right prompts can now generate working malicious codes. More, bigger, increasingly diverse cyber attacks from systems that we have taught best methods, best practices on how to write malicious code. Scams. Now, right now, you get an email from someplace, And my guess is that 90% of the people that get a bunch of scammy emails, anything Nigerian prince, princess, whatever, he's got, oh, okay, yeah, this is a scam. Well, what's going to happen now, and in fact, there are already cases of this, new AI-assisted phishing, phishing and fraud schemes will take the form of real-sounding pleas for help in the AI-faked voices of friends and relatives.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Scary, bro.
Yeah, they'll be able to. And there was a scam that was floating around. Where you get somebody. Yeah, this is so and so. I work in the hotel. Your son's credit card is empty, and you need to send some money. Otherwise, we're call the police and have them arrested for skimming us out of money. Now it will be your voice calling a relative and very, very convincingly make a plea for cash. You need to send me some money. I'm in bad shape. I'm in jail in the Philippines. This is how you're going to get me out. And it will sound exactly like the person, because can you imagine? Like I said, every broadcast of this show is now online.
I need 900 pesos.
So every version of the way that I pronounce legislature, right? Every version of that is out there somewhere. And so you'll say, oh my God, it must be real because he mispronounced legislature. In that, it's got to be Ray. We'll send those pesos off in his direction. There have already been scams that look like that. Disinformation, propaganda, and partisan assault will be optimized by algorithms and given mass distribution by tech giants. Text, speech, video could make it impossible for you to be able to determine what is fact, what is fiction. I told you a couple of weeks ago about an AI-generated meme. And it was a scene from Poltergeist 2. And that cute little girl who's separated from her mother in the movie. And here comes this wiry old stick figure of a man in a black suit and a white shirt and a pastor hat on. And he leans over and says, "Are you lost, little girl?" And you can almost see it in your head if you watched the movie. But in this case, they had very dramatically and looking cinematographically correct, inserted Joe Biden's face and voice, asking, "Are you lost, little girl? Let's sing, shall we?" You're getting the creeps just hearing that story again. All of those things, the chances are, and we've done the test. I've shown you pictures of Asian chicks in bikinis for real and AI generated. And I'm telling you, on a weekly/monthly basis, it is getting harder and harder and harder to distinguish between AI-generated Asian chicks in bikinis and real Asian chicks in bikinis. Ow. And can you imagine what's going to happen when they put artificial intelligence? I'm sure they're already working this through, where you might start a completely sincere romantic relation with an AI bot. And the AI bot, just like some other people in the social media, will say, "Oh, wow, my father just got ill. Can you send me money?" And you will send money to a mirage. They're going to get that good. Surveillance. America's 70 million closed-circuit TV cameras and unregulated personal data already enables authorities to match people to footage that they see. Artificial intelligence will supercharge this kind of tracking for both corporations and governments, enabling behavior prediction on a mass scale, and it will be personalized just for you. Colin Clark says, always check the doggins. You got to check for a flatness in the doggin.
Thank you.
That's not the only thing he said. Strongmen crackdown mass digital data collection can give would-be autocrats a means to anticipate and diffuse social anger that bypasses democratic debate. Can you imagine the next time there's a Dylan Mulvaney meltdown on the internet? Something like that. Well, they might be able to deploy artificial intelligence to be able to, I don't know, gaslight you. No, this never happened. No, this is a fake. How do we know? Is it, just as an example, how many times when you're out there in the social medias and you see a picture and then it just it stirs you, right? Images of illegal aliens crossing the southern borders by the hundreds. Well, what if the AI that is being controlled by a certain degree of skullduggery and maleficent players, what would happen if they just put those little fact checker blobs at the bottom of those things? It's a real picture. Is this really happening? Our southern borders are being invaded by illegal aliens.
Chinesery.
But if they put down one of those things that says, "Oh yeah, this picture is actually from 1978 and it's not an illegal invasion. It's a big Cinco de Mayo celebration," right? And it would diffuse the passion that people would normally have and the angry keyboard writing that they'd get, because now they wouldn't know for sure whether that is the real deal, the real situation. And the crazy thing is, how do we know it's not already happening? You know, it's kind of funny in a crazy kind of the future's going to hell and dystopian environment, kind of scary, funny. You know what I mean? Hey, what are we going to do? You'll just have to trust us here, ladies and gentlemen. You'll always be able to detect a mistake, a mispronunciation. A hair will be out of place. My earring will be on the wrong ear. That was a punchline in a movie I watched recently. All right, speaking of watching, it says Winnie Flores is watching Jose Tetpago just throwing words out here like ladyboy. Is it okay? So it's that kind of Wednesday. Is that where we're headed? Just wondering. You'd be paying child support to your AI ex-girlfriend.
We couldn't make it work.
She's a very hot bot. Says Bunker. Maria Espinosa is there. John Song, as an Asian who has a minor in Asian American Studies, I learned the word Oriental was derogatory, but even now I've never felt offended hearing the word. Look it up, John. I mean, I don't get it. So. Is Oriental kind of the Asian N-word? Is that I'm not supposed to, or what? Because there's still there's Oriental Kitchen, right?
Yeah.
God.
I'm getting mad.
You can't. I'm sorry. My daughter's half Japanese. I don't know if you can paint me into a racist corner knowing that. Rita Edwards is there. Chetch online saying AI is dangerous. Hava Colin, I don't know. There must be a screw loose if you got by a scammer. AI can sound doofy. Reminder about AI. The Terminator was set in 2029. That's only 6 years away from right now. Anna Delgado says Troy Torres, Oriental means Eastern. I'm not sure why it's derogatory. I think it stems from the imperialistic ways of the British Empire. And the way that they talked down to people that lived in a certain part that they referred to as the Orient. I think maybe that was the thing that I read on why we're supposed to get all butthurt about it. But as I said, I think there's a certain, there are certain folks that go, yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We got work to do here. I got kids to put through college. I ain't got time to be offended. And if I do, then remind me to get my butt back to work. Bistro Rusanova Mendiola online. Eileen, or is it Aileen? A-I-L-E-E-N Thomas. Aileen Thomas watching. There's Pat Saho and Louise Taitegui and John Song again. Let me see. Jerome's online. Army Lynn, Ben Servino, Ana Delgado, and Sandra Regis. Christopher Adu Gamfai is watching. Christopher, show me that you're a real human being. Come on, let me have some integrity. Let me have some.
You show us yours, and
I'll show you my imperfections if you show me yours. 20 away from the top of the hour. We'll get back to the phones. Do I have Michelle Pierre out in the green room? Hope so. Tattoo Shauna was talking about because we were talking with ghosts and spirits. She says the parlor has a spirit cat named Cheshire. Next time you go get yourself a tattoo from her, maybe you can talk to it. Maybe you'll leave out some kibbles and bits or something like that. Stand by 9 o'clock in the morning. Fox News Live is coming up here in just seconds. On the other side of that, there is no Donna D going to be doing news and headlines. It's just going to be you and I, and a deal that is coming up to encourage people to get surfing a little bit more these days. Stand by now. Fox News on the Point.
Heading to the border, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. In advance of the end of COVID-era restrictions, the Biden administration is sending 1,500 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border.
In light of the changes on May 11th and the anticipated surge DHS did reach out and request this support.
Pentagon spokesman General Pat Ryder, who says the troops will not do law enforcement work. Similar actions were taken during the Trump administration. Even as a meeting of top lawmakers from both sides of the aisle is set for next week at the White House to discuss the debt ceiling, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he will make public the plan that House Republicans passed last week.
If Republicans refuse to level with the American people about their bill, Senate Democrats are more than happy to do it.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy calls the measure responsible and says it will put an end to what he calls runaway spending. An arrest near Buckingham Palace days ahead of the coronation of King Charles III.
The man has not been officially identified by the London Metro Police Department. He was taken into custody around 7 p.m. local time after he tossed what appeared to be shotgun cartridges onto palace grounds. Police say he was also carrying a suspicious bag. Its contents were cordoned off and eventually detonated in a controlled explosion. Police say no shots were fired and no officer or civilian has been hurt. There is a massive security presence in the United Kingdom's capital, less than a week from King Charles' official ascension to the throne.
Fox's Gernal Scott. A judge has ruled Montana State Representative Zoe Zephyr, the transgender lawmaker, silenced after telling Republicans they would have blood on their hands for opposing gender-affirming care for kids, cannot yet return to the floor of the state house. The ruling came after attorneys for the state of Montana asked the judge to reject Zephyr's attempt to return. America is listening to Fox News.
Guam Regional Medical City is a leader in foot and ankle care in the Marianas. Our podiatry clinic aims to provide exceptional treatments for diabetes, ingrown nails, arthritis, corns, foot and ankle injuries, and much more. Let's get you back on your feet. To learn more, call GRMC's referral office at 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762. GRMC, reflecting our commitment to providing safe and quality patient care.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
A new bill hopes to protect children and teens when they get on social media.
Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal and Republican Marsha Blackburn believe the Kids Online Safety Act will hold big tech companies accountable.
Social media didn't cause this teen mental health crisis alone, but it has aggravated and exacerbated it.
The bill would require stricter settings on social media sites for those 16 and under and give parents more power over features that could be addictive. When asked by Fox News about past concerns from organizations like the ACLU that it could limit access to helpful resources, Blumenthal says they've made changes like not applying the bill to education or schools. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The FAA takes action to try to smooth the way for summer travel.
The Federal Aviation Administration trying to cut down on delays and step up safety ahead of summer travel season, activating 169 more direct routes along the East Coast, something it says will cut down on 40,000 miles of travel time annually because of shorter distances. The agency, which is trying to deal with staffing shortages, explaining the additional routes will make flying safer because they give air traffic controllers more flexibility during bad weather, create fewer converging points, and increase capacity to direct traffic to specific routes based on the aircraft's destination. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy says loneliness poses health risks as deadly as smoking 12 cigarettes a day, costing the health industry billions of dollars annually. Murthy's report says about half of U.S. adults say they've experienced loneliness, and isolation elevates feelings of depression, anxiety, and dementia. And he says those with poor social relationships also at a greater risk of stroke and heart disease. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Struggling to find the perfect Mother's Day gift? Look no further. For a limited time, get a new iPhone 14 on GTA's Live Unlimited plan. And you'll not only make Mom's day, but also get her a free Apple Watch. Help Mom stay connected, monitor her health, and keep track of her fitness goals with just a tap. It's a gift that will make her life easier and more stylish. Don't wait. Head to your nearest GTA retail location and get your iPhone 14 and free Apple Watch today. Happy Mother's Day, GTA. We start with you.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs. 6 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and the team over at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web. Get a brand new Nissan, 0 down, the first 3 payments on them. The offer's good on the Pathfinder, the Rogue, starting as low as $171 a paycheck, Rogue Sport, the Kicks, Maxima, Altima, Versa, the Aria, the electric car, and, of course, even the Z is in there as well. I would suggest a test drive on just about every single one of these, because there's a Nissan car for everybody and their particular needs, and in the prices that you're going to be looking for. As always, this is on approved credit. Some conditions may apply. Sign and drive away at Nissan Guam today.
Bringing you closer to the action. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on ThePOINT.gu.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. There's a paper everywhere, doggone it. And what's the paper that I'm getting my hands on here in just seconds? 888-8255-888-TALK. Always got to give you the phone number. I got this from one of my friends that went to Academy of Our Lady of Guam and graduated in the year 2014.
Oh, my God. That's so long ago.
Right? Wow. It's not that long ago. They've got their first official fundraiser is going to be coming up the 19th at Lava Lounge. The Road to 10 Years is what it's called. Friday, May 9th, 6 until 11 o'clock at Lava Lounge. You can go find one of those girls. Go find Ashley, and she'll hook you up with it. Tickets to get you in include a free drink or a soda while you're there. It's Lava. I've actually heard Ashley sing at Lava once upon a time. Here's the thing about Lava. You ever been?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Maybe, Ray.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I have set foot in Lava. But here's the thing. This is what I know about Lava. They got really good singers there.
Oh, yeah.
They have really, really good singers. I mean, like...
This is a karaoke bar.
Yeah, it's a karaoke bar. Yeah,
is this where Arnell started?
Yeah, Arnell from Journey started it. So here's what I know about the place is that if you don't even pick up the book, don't look for the song unless you're as good as the record. And they got the like urban contemporary stuff there, like rap music and stuff like that people can sing. And don't pick it, even if you think you know that rap better than anybody else, you don't. There's karaoke kuyas in there that will absolutely nail you.
I like duets.
Look, here's the thing: if you're like Suki at karaoke, you can still go, but go in the room. So you can suck with all of your other karaoke Suki friends in the privacy of the room and not be embarrassed on the main stage on the outside. There you go. You want information on this? By all means, Academy's class of 2014. I consider myself a what do you call it?
Supporter.
Okay. An ally. An ally of the Academy's class of 2014. It is $10. My invitation said, "Come and drink and sing with the girls," and I said, "Wrong verbs." Appreciate it. So where were we at? 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. There's another fundraiser I had up on the screen, and it was a fundraising note that I gotten from Michelle Pierre. She'll be on the phone with us in just a little bit. Michelle is working with the surf community. Wow, imagine that. And they're doing a thing. Their fundraiser is going to be taking place. It's actually this weekend. That's why I got Michelle calling in a little bit over at the venue. And it says, "Support the Stoke." And I'm not ashamed to say that I am that far out of the loop. I don't know what Stoke is.
Oh, yeah. I think it's an excitement, Ray.
I'm happy to support it. I will be an ally. I will be an ally of the Stoke, whatever that means. I don't know. I hope it's not painful, and I hope it's not something that if I get it, I have to wear a hat for the rest of my life. More on that in just a little bit. And I was hoping, and I might just put it up on a screen right now. Oh, look, the roulette of pictures led to Cousin Troy in Roto with a coconut head.
Nice hair.
Thank you. Hold on. I'm gonna put it up there, and everybody's gonna say, "Oh yes, leave that up, Ray." Michelle, I commissioned her to do a painting at my house for my house, and we got together and talked about what it was that I'd like to see.
Is that paid off already, Ray?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is paid off, and it is in a pride of place in the house, and surrounded in this picture at least by significant beauty. So if you would like to talk to her, maybe about commissioning a piece for you and your house, maybe there's a blank wall that you got over.
Is that your house?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's my house.
You laid all those bricks, man.
I'm that good. It used to be. And that's
not you.
No, see the picture of the woman.
Yeah,
not the woman, not the balloon smuggler over there, but the actual one on the wall.
Yes, that's a nice one too, man.
That's just Ross. Okay, that's
$12.98 at Ross.
Right, that's Ross. The colorful one with the picture of a Lupat Island and a couple of chairs in the middle of it. Yeah, that's the one from Michelle. Anyway, 9:12 in the morning. I know you're asking what's her name, Ray? What's her name? That's for me to know and whatever. Stand by. She'll get on the air before too much longer with us. 9:12 in the morning. A couple of things that I wanted to get through while we're waiting here is the conversation that they're having at the Youth Congress. I'm not sure yet how I feel. My natural bias is, oh my God, Youth Congress, roll your eyes. But this isn't that bad. It talks about taking advantage of rooftop space. And like at my house, I've got a pitched roof on one side, and then most of the rest of it is flat. And in past, call my friend Tony Mendiola, and he'll go up there with his water blaster and pressure wash the roof and make it white. And I do that to, bring down the cost of the electricity in the house and make it so the air conditioners aren't working all that hard. But the guys in the Youth Congress have been doing a degree of research and want to propose tax abatements for people that will cover their roofs with vegetation.
I like it.
AKA green roof.
Yeah.
So you could go up there. Now, there's all this stuff here. There's numerous environmental benefits, reduction in air pollution and trapping of harmful greenhouse gases and carbon emissions. Carbon, they make a big deal about carbon emissions and things like that, like there was never carbon in the world before. And the truth of the matter is there might be 3% of the atmosphere right now is carbon, maybe a little bit more.
I don't mind.
It's okay. And you know what? What happens is the carbon dioxide goes to the trees make oxygen, so you and I can breathe. So it's not a deadly greenhouse gas, is it? Anyway, so the underside of a vegetation-covered concrete roof can be up to 21 degrees cooler than a bare concrete roof, potentially cutting a typical household's electricity consumption by 64%.
I'm sold. Let's do it, Ray.
That's why I'm saying, okay, this might not be some kind of harebrained, scatterbrained, roll your eyes Youth Congress idea. This might actually be worth doing. Now, it depends on how they roll this out. Personally,
I'd
like
cheaper than Elastomeric?
And the silicon for sure, right? So you just you throw some dirt in there and then some seeds or something like that, and then you've got green roof.
Chia Pet house.
Does that mean you have to mow that, right? You'd have to get some kind of bush cutter that goes up there. The legislature, they're writing this for the legislature, also finds that many jurisdictions throughout the United States and the globe have passed legislation promoting the widespread implementation of green roofs, including the city of Portland, which mandated that green roofs cover 100% of the roof of any building having or exceeding a square footage of 20,000 square feet. I would not mandate it. I'd encourage it, and the rest of the body of the measure is exactly that. Steps that building owners that might be able to take, put a green roof on the house and get a tax abatement on something like that. So I kind of like to see where that's going. A little bit later on, we'll spend some time talking about minimum wage increase. Cinco de Mayo this week, Roy Canetta is going to have a roundtable on that, and we're going to call it not Cinco de Mayo, but Cinco de Payroll. On the 6th of May, at Venue, there's going to be a fundraiser. Is this Michelle?
Yeah, it is.
Hello.
Buenos
Good morning. Half a day.
I just to let you know, I've got the picture that you did in my house. I've got it up on the screen. Had
awesome.
a little get together at my house in December, and had some friends come over. Very, very attractive friends, I must say, and they all wanted to get pictures in front of your painting, and so that's what's on the screen right now. So the people can see.
I love that. Thank you.
It's our painting. And just by way of letting you know that, number one, she is an accomplished artist. The female art correspondent of the Ray Gibson Show is Michelle Peer. And if you like what you see on screen, if you like what you see when you follow her on social media, she can do art commissioned just for you. And it was a wonderful process, and I appreciated it, and I love the finished product, and get so many positive comments and remarks from people when they see it. 9:16 in the morning, but that's not the reason for the phone call. The reason for the phone call is you're going to school me on what supporting the Stoke means. What is Stoke, girl?
Stoke is like it's excitement. Kind of, I guess you could relate it to like stoking the fire. It's a common term used amongst surfers and other maybe extreme sports and whatnot. But yeah, stoked. It's like I'm stoked to be on this phone call right now. I appreciate it.
All right, and so there's a whole thing behind all of this. The idea behind the support to Stoke. It's not just a fundraiser where there will be raffle and food, and we'll be playing surf movies on a big screen out there over at the venue. This is leading up to a big surfing thing, right? The flyaway competition.
So we have through Guahan Napu, we have now formed a Team Guam surf delegation who will be going to events both locally and off island, and we are shooting to get to the ISA World Surfing Games in El Salvador in May this month. So that's it's an Olympic qualifying event.
Not Ecuador. Not Ecuador, you guys.
Not Ecuador. And not Guatemala. We've had a few confusions.
El Salvador.
El Salvador, yes. It is in South America. And yeah, so it is an Olympic qualifying event, so we do accumulate points in the journey, the road to Paris 2024. There will be other events that are also Olympic qualifying events, but this will be the second one that Team Guam has participated in. They went to Miyazaki, Japan in 2019.
There's no surf in Japan?
Oh, yes, there is.
Really?
Absolutely.
I mean, like surf.
It's
not like boat basin surfing, but like real surfing, big waves, shoot the tubes, all of that?
They got waves in Japan. It's a little colder than Guam, that's for sure.
Oh boy, I can only imagine. And that got me thinking, because when we were talking about it, you'd thrown out names like El Salvador, but even Ecuador and places like Guatemala, it wouldn't surprise me if they had a surf culture there as well.
There are waves around the world, Ray, and yeah, it's a surf community, and surfers anywhere in the world usually will find each other just because it's a lifestyle, you know. But yeah, so we have an awesome team put together for this delegation. We have coaches, Martin Leon Guerrero, Fred Mendiola, and Shane Purcell. Also Shane Peer, but he's not able to go on this delegation with us. So some people will probably recognize those names in the surf community. And then I am team manager. And then our athletes, we have 6 athletes. We have Jared Gogui, Derek Ikihara, Noah Mendiola, Every Alexander, Minami Kramer, and Sienna Purcell. So this is our delegation.
Minami's not a surfer.
Oh, yes, she is. Minami Kramer. Absolutely.
I'm thinking of the other Minami.
Yeah, she's at school in California right now, so she'll be meeting us in El Salvador, as well as Jared Gogui, same thing. So,
all right.
But yes. So we've got
fascinating here. So tell me a little bit more about the particular night here. We're talking about Saturday night over at Venue. $10 gets you in, and obviously the free drink, yada yada yada. But you're gonna have raffles and giveaways and stuff.
Yes, we will be selling raffle tickets, and we'll have some food by Mosa's Joint, as well as some potluck style by the team. Some of the raffle prizes we've got a surfboard by local surfboard shaper Homegrown Sticks, who also happens to be one of our coaches, Shane Purcell. Purebred Gym will be giving away 2 one-month memberships. We also have GTA Teleguam bags, an hour massage from H2O, an hour massage from Clarissa Torres, some gear from Foci and Lotus Surf Shop, a tattoo from Legends Guam, a tattoo from Jeff Egen, 2 Arrow surfboard shirts, a handmade tablecloth by Alyssa Eclavea, 2 rounds of golf from Country Club of the Pacific, and some goodies coming in from Triple J Auto, as well as a few others that are coming in the rest of this week. So
just buy every raffle ticket they will sell you, and line yourself for stuff. You know what? I'm surprised I did not hear Frank the Crank shinarping anything as part of the giveaways.
That's a great idea.
Well, I mean, because the group that she's talking about, it's as she says, it's a lifestyle. But from the recollection, these are all members of a kind of extended family that you have.
Absolutely. We are in close relation with a lot of these local surf and skate businesses because we hang out together, we do business together, we surf and skate together. It's a great close-knit community, and we just try to support each other whenever we can. So.
Your kids are like third-generation surfer heads, right?
Yes, we come from a surfing family. My dad, Ken Pierre, is a longtime, well-known local surfer. He passed away in 2020, and now we have, there's my brother, Shane Pierre, also a longtime surfer here on Guam. And I surf a little bit here and there, but my kids, 2 of my boys, one who is going on this trip, Every Alexander, both my boys surf, and it's fun. We get to do it as a family. It's a healthy mind, body, soul type of sport, so absolutely fun. That's what the Stoke is about. We just go and have a good time, get fit, and we're trying to advance Guam's surfing team and trying to develop to where we can, level up to compete with some of these higher level nations. So it's exciting.
Well, I think in a couple of days we'll have a conversation with some folks in the swimming community, and that would be like in the swimming pool, competitive swimmers. And number one, that brings to mind part of the training that you are conducting with your surfers now. Actually has them at the Israel pool over at St. John's, right? Getting some paddling training and speed work in.
Yes, we really appreciate them allowing us to utilize the pool. Especially the thing with Guam is we don't have consistent surf year-round, so sometimes there's no waves to surf. So we're trying to get the team trained in a variety of ways. So yes, we do relay races in the pool, general swimming and conditioning, and even just paddling out to the ocean, even if there's no waves, just getting that conditioning and training in anywhere we can.
Muscle memory is a vital thing. 9:23 in the morning. Michelle Pierre on the line with me now. Now, the other thought that popped into my head is, number one, some of those the videos that you've got of these people doing their training in the pool with surfboards, hilarious, and the competition between them also likewise fun to watch. But the other thing is, it seems to me that you guys have always had a degree of, I don't know, I want to say ownership or patronage of the Telefofo Bay area, and I'm starting to see more and more activities that are being organized and conducted down there. Some of it looks like it's informal. Some of it looks like actual work went into it. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are up to specifically at that spot.
Well, actually, we were going to do an event down there, but it looks like we might not have time to really pull that one off. However, we are down at Telefofo Bay quite often, either just hanging out with our families and the kids are surfing, or we'll be surfing as well. It's just a great family spot. So yeah, that's a common spot, gathering spot, as well as other spots on the island. But I did want to also.
You know what? I'll just say, without getting too personal here, when you hit on Alupat Island in my picture, it is there, and it reminds me of that's how I commune with my father. Because that was always the sunset that we were looking at from his place. We'd look over the Dunkas Beach and Alupat Island and then watch the sunset. And your painting, you didn't even know about it, but your painting is reminiscent of exactly that communal experience that I have with my father who has passed away. And I've got to imagine that you hanging out with your kids and friends at Telefofo Bay is your commune with your father.
Definitely, 100%. He was down there all the time. Whether or not he was surfing, he'd be sitting there as well, encouraging the younger surfers and, just rooting everyone on. So, yes, it is definitely a special home break spot for me as I also live in Taupopo. So, yes.
9:25. Now, again, the thing is going to be taking place on Saturday night at the venue. $10 gets you, and bring some extra folding money so you can buy up all of the raffle prizes or buy all of the raffle tickets so that you can win some cool raffle prizes. Get ready and set to meet members of the surf community, maybe people that you know, maybe people that you don't know. You're going to run into people. You're going to say, "Who are you?" And they'll tell you, and you go, "Oh, you're so-and-so's kid." Because, as I said, this is now a multi-generational thing. You know, the hippies that were surfing and goofing off on Guam back in the 1970s now got kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and it's for them that we try to get them now involved in an Olympic-level sport.
Yeah, come meet the team. And something else that I wanted to throw in there, huge thanks to Good Looking Out, a local vintage and curated goods clothing shop. They're doing us a major solid by designing a surf brand collaboration tee with a few other local surf and skate brands like Arrow Surfboards, Homegrown Sticks,
Where's their store?
Lotus, Stone Style. This is gonna be a limited time only fundraiser shirt. So it's gonna have. She made it so cool. It's got a. She wanted to honor also my father and the surf community, so she used a photo of my dad surfing, and that's on the shirt. And this is only going to be available until May 12th. After that, it will not be sold in stores or anything like that. So it's
collector's
and
edition.
100% of the proceeds are going towards our fundraising efforts to get to El Salvador. So she's not even making any money out of this. She's doing this out of the goodness of her heart to help Team Guam. So I really appreciate Good Looking Out and the whole team there for doing that. So
where's her store at? Is that the one that's upstairs from the coffee place?
Yes, correct. Above Hava Java and Carabao Brewing,
okay.
that building area. Yes, she's upstairs. So you can look up.
I cannot avoid buying stuff when I'm in that store because they've got.
I'm sure your daughter loves it too.
Well, my daughter loves it. So my daughter, she bought me a Debbie Gibson concert tour sweater. And she says, "Oh, look what I got you, Dad." And now she's like, "I want to borrow that. Can I borrow that?"
Yeah. So one way that people can help support Team Guam, even if you're off island, you can go to Good Looking Out's page, and there's a link there to purchase this once exclusive shirt, and they ship worldwide. Otherwise, after May 12th, once she puts in all the orders for production, then you'll be able to either receive your shirt in the mail or pick up in shop in a few weeks after the sales close.
I got you. I'm at their website right now, putting it up on the screen, looking for Glow merchandise.
Awesome. Yeah, if you go straight to their website, you actually have to go into the search bar and search Team Guam because it's not posted as a regular product item in their store. But you can also go on Instagram to either Good Looking Out or Guahan Napu or my page, Creative Indeed. Any of those pages you can find the link, or if you come to the venue fundraiser, I will have printed flyers with a QR code, so it's easy to just scan in. It'll take you straight to the website to make the process smoother.
All right, good looking shirts. Not too many logos on it. Looks like it's going to be something fun and comfortable to wear. Michelle, always a pleasure talking with you. Swing by anytime you want to. All right.
Awesome. One last thing, Ray. I just wanted to shout out GTA Teleguam because they are our hugest sponsor right now. They are literally helping us fly to El Salvador. So huge thanks to them, as well as Ellen's Realty and Bank of Guam as well.
Happy to let you guys get a plug in on the program. 9:30 in the morning. You have a terrific day. I'll leave this up on the screen so that people can see what they might be able to buy and now they know where to go and find it on the World Wide Web. Or, as you say, see you Saturday night over at the venue.
Yes, thanks for supporting the Stoke, Ray.
Hey, I'm an ally. Call me an ally. I don't know how to surf, but I can talk like one. Is it 9:29, dude? We'll be right back after these, yo. Celebrating BK's 34th anniversary, Whopper Wednesday is back every Wednesday in May. Visit participating Burger King restaurants and say, "I love the Whoppers," and get a free flame-grilled Whopper sandwich with the purchase of any large-size Whopper combo meal. Top off your meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Tell your friends and family and enjoy your Whopper Wednesday only in May. Available at BK Agutnia, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Thank you, Guam, for 34 years. You rule.
Half a day. This is Clara Manglona from Security Title with an important warning. Wire fraud is real, and home buyers and sellers are one of the biggest targets, even on Guam. When sending money by wire transfer, be sure to confirm the wire instructions by phone, not email. In this case, it's good to be suspicious and know who you're dealing with. Let the professionals at Security Title work with you to minimize loss due to wire fraud. We are here to help.
Express yourself into the groove. The Guam Chamber of Commerce celebrates its 99th anniversary at the Dusatani Resort on May 6th with the theme of Madonna's Vogue. The Chamber's membership includes many corporations, large and small, entrepreneurs, and nonprofit organizations. Members play a key part in making Guam a star-bright place to live, work, and play. Let's congratulate the Guam Chamber of Commerce and its members on celebrating its 99th anniversary.
Right. The bottom of the hour here, 9:31. Probably should have spent some time looking at material to talk about for the next half hour. Killing some time on the talk radio. What have we got? MT Farron is there. Chris Barnes watching. JB St. Nicholas, Colin Clark, Therese Garcia. James Lujan says, woohoo, Manami. And I'm sorry, it's one of those things where I'm going, wait a second, Manami, Kramer.
That's the only one Manami that we know.
Serve.
But she kills races.
She kills races, right? Yeah. Sorry. Not Kramer. Martin was the one I'm thinking about. Appreciate the guidance on that. Who else is playing around? Richard Leon wrote down his thought of the day, but it's too long, so I'll read it later. How about a mural on a retaining wall? Says Colin. Yeah, she can do all of that kind of stuff. I mean, but I don't know if she's going to have time because there's so much of the surfing activity going on. Lupan Cove online says Ray's stream smooth as silk today. Must be due to all the good-hearted chat yesterday. I don't know what it was. I'm going to put it down as an issue at the receiving end over at YouTube, because the Facebook feed was good. The stream hitting the website was good. Every once in a while, maybe just got a bad spot into the machine. Still hoping for my ex-machina girlfriend. I'm telling you guys, that's going to be a reality down the road there. DPW Coneheads says round file out in front of East-West Rental. Expect traffic delays through there. Well, we've already had our share of traffic delays on Route 15 and another one on Route 10. So maybe it's just a good idea to go and park and just not have to worry about doing anything anytime soon. 9:32. On the Ray Gibson Show, and there are a few other things that I wanted to get to. As I said, Roy Kanata, new guy, 37th Guam Legislature, and he wants to have a conversation about the potential increase in the minimum wage from where it is right now, and wants to see if they might be able to get some folks a little bit more primed for work. Now, I'll wax on this for a second because it's one of my favorite topics, believe it or not. I like the idea, and I've done as much research as possible, given data that we've got here on Guam that supports my theory that increases in the minimum wage do nothing but drive prices up, actually put people out of work. We say, well, what could be so wrong with somebody making $15 an hour? Okay, I'll pay you $15 an hour, but you can only work 10 hours this week. You're only going to work 15 hours this week. Sorry, that's what happens. And I'm going to make you hustle. You're going to earn $15 an hour. And it ain't going to be just for one job. You might think that you're coming in to do X. Well, it's going to be X and Y and Z. Because I need you to hustle like you're three people for $15 an hour. That's what's going to happen. And because I now have to give you, new guy, $15 an hour, the guy that was here already for 4 years, knows this business very well, lots of experience, trusted employee. He was already making $15 an hour, and now he's coming to me, asking me how come I'm paying the new guy the same wage that he's getting, and he busted his ass trying to get there. That's called wage compression, and that kind of thing happens. And then there's another point that I want to make about this, and it is there are already artificial impacts of increased wages that we've got here on Guam. You know about this. Contractors on the base now are required by law to pay those employees on the job while they're on the base, store or whatever, They got to get paid, what, $16 an hour. That's the minimum wage for the contract employees there. And that starts a fight in the family for businesses that have an outlet on base and they have an outlet, say, out on this side of the fence. And every employee in the company wants to work on base and get those big dollars. And when you say, no, I can't let everybody work on the base, then they quit and go work someplace else that maybe will let them do that, or maybe that will pay them this new minimum wage. And a point that I think Dr. Roseanne Jones made, the last time the minimum wage conversation raised its ugly head, and the response was, and I think Dr. Claire Rain also made the same point at the University of Guam, is there's no point in doing this right now because most jobs that are hard to fill are already paying those kind of wages. Wherever it is that you want to send the minimum wage, trust me, people are already making that. Donna and I and you earlier talking about the all of the businesses that are having job fairs. You want to work over at Applebee's or Pizzaology? No, bro, it's been a long time since I had the opportunity to swing by there and get me some Pizzaology. I do like them because they serve beer. You can buy a beer and enjoy that while you're gnawing on that chicken that you made, the chicken pizza pie with the pineapples.
Oh, God, Ray.
I know.
Triggered.
It's all right. But anyway, my point is, most businesses on Guam, you ask them what their big need is, many of them are going to say, I need more employees. And we'll talk about salary once you filled out the application. It's almost a cliche anymore to hear from some businesses, guys that I talk to, saying, what kind of employees do you need? I said, the kind that show up. That's what I'm looking for. There are so many people that this will happen. They'll go to the job fairs and see what's out there, see what's available, see what the salary conditions look like. And many of them will go through the interview process on the spot, and shake hands. Yep, I'll be there Monday. And then it gets to be Monday morning and they wake up and they go, never mind. I'm good. I'm good. Cherry, like Auntie Mary, it's okay. I kind of like the gig that I've got now because they give me more time to work on my quality of life. That's important to my boss, quality of life issues. I don't know if they're going to try to mandate that. So Cinco de Mayo over at the legislature are going to be Cinco de Payroll, as Roy Caneta is going to be talking to him. Naturally, the guys over at the Chamber of Commerce are trying to stand in front of this as much as they possibly can. But given the effectiveness of other arrangements made by the Chamber over the years, to stem the tide of tax increases and payroll increases. They haven't really been all that successful in the past, so I don't know that they're going to be very successful in the future. What do most American workers really think about their jobs? In a day and age of what they call quiet quitting, the American workplace has changed considerably. COVID-19 ushered in a work-from-home revolution and help shift some of the power away from the bosses. Employees now have more freedom to request higher pay and better benefits from their current employers since they could probably find a job somewhere else that would meet their requirements. And it doesn't mean everything is great for those in the U.S. workforce. A new Pew research poll surveyed just under 6,000 workers to determine how they felt about various aspects of the current work environment. On a general level, just over half of those surveyed say they're satisfied with their job. When broken down into specifics, it's obvious that there are some areas of work that are more satisfying than others. At the top of the list, more than 2/3 of respondents expressed satisfaction in their relationships with colleagues. Isn't that so, Joe?
That's absolutely
Louder.
so.
Louder. Who do you love?
Yes.
Who do you love?
You.
Thank you. On the other end of the spectrum, only 1/3 said they were satisfied with their opportunities for promotion. 59% of respondents who travel to work were satisfied with the commute. 34% said their pay rate is satisfactory. Employer benefits and feedback each received approval from about 50% of the respondents. And 62% of workers approve their relationship with their supervisors. But then, obviously you break that down into ages and different demographics, and it changes. I've had the opportunity to spend some time with folks. I don't even know which demographic they're in. You know, you get to be my age, and forget about Generation Z, Millennials, and Generation X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people that are younger than me. That's, hey, you kids, get off my yard.
Yeah.
That's how I view the world. And I'm talking to these guys, and I know where they work. I know who their bosses are, and they were talking about their job. And one of the things that they really liked about their job was that their boss literally, and these are their words, paid attention to the, what do they call it, the work-life split. You know, it's like, yeah, I work for you, and when I'm here for you. We're doing the job, and I love you. But when it gets to be 5:01, there's no WhatsApping, there's no emailing, there's no, hey, can you come in a little for a little bit tomorrow and get some of this stuff done? I'm going to be the weekend, and I'm going to do me this weekend.
I don't know you for the weekend.
I don't know you. Yeah. Don't call. I don't check this phone after 5 o'clock on a Friday because I need to maintain that work-life balance that is so vital to folks these days. And
this is kind of my life too, Ray.
Well, all right, to a degree. I try not to bug Real Joe, but Real Joe
he sends me those water drops.
Yes, yes.
And
I'm
the
sorry.
eggplants.
Sorry, this it's cross chat.
But that's the weekend.
It's 9:40, and I feel bad when I do it. But at a point, I want to say a year or so ago, Real Joe decided on his own that he was going to try to be more involved in setting up interviews for the show and bringing in people and coordinating, in studio interviews, phone-in interviews, and things like that. But people still reach out to me and say, "Hey, can I get some airtime?" And I'm like, I don't know. I got to check with Joe. And sometimes they're asking for airtime. And can you check with Joe after 5 o'clock, after 6 o'clock or something like that? And I try not to interfere with your ruckus time.
I like it when you text, man.
It's all right.
I do.
And I'm okay.
Sometimes
I'm okay if sometimes, it's 20 minutes and you haven't answered me yet. Yeah. Love that part. Huffa KLB Guame online. Dee Bird is there. Huffa Denise. Sharma Sharon is there. Colin Clark, Mike Ebio, MT Farron, and Bistro Rusinova. My sister at some point reached out to her and said, "You got to get on the air." And she's like, "Well, about what? Never mind. Just find a topic and call in." So here she is, Bistro Rusinova. Mendiola, Huffa Day, how you?
Half a day, Ray. Oh, God bless when you try to call Gulf Guam, man. It's crazy and it's an experience. The reason why I'm calling this morning is because I just overheard about the proposed public hearing regarding the increase of the minimum income.
It'll
Guam,
be
right?
2 o'clock on the 5th of the Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Peo.
Yeah, well, generally I'm all for it. I mean, we need to kind of elevate the standard of living. And, when I ran last year, I was really big on decreasing that gap between income and standard of living, which has become really, really difficult nowadays.
I'll tell you how I would attack that, but you go on.
Yeah, but I have one concern in particular that affects probably 30 to 40,000 households currently. I, as far as I remember, on Guam we have a large number SNAP recipients, and the income threshold is set by the federal government.
Mm.
In the federal standard right now, I think the minimum wage is $7.25. Here in Guam, we're higher at $9.25.
Yeah.
So let's say you are a single person and you're receiving, $7.25 or even $9.25. You might qualify for those SNAP benefits. So what happens? Let's say we increase the minimum wage to $15, because that's what I keep hearing that this is the.
I think that's a target they're looking at. Yeah.
Right. So let's just do the numbers. It's very easy to figure it out, because at $15 an hour,
full-time jobs, $30,000 a year.
That's $2,400 a month. That's your gross income. So currently, if you're a single person, your gross income is set at $1,473. So you're automatically disqualified. So what I would suggest is whoever has the time, I'll definitely try and get to the public hearing, because my concern is how many people will be automatically kicked out of the program. I know we're trying to do the noble thing, and it's very important, but at the same time, are we going to cause more harm than good? I mean, that should be the question that our lawmakers should be asking.
Which is why many people are going to opt out and taking those jobs, even at especially at $15 an hour, because it would, you know what? Because that puts you in with the rest of the rabble here. Right now, you got this little SNAP card, and depending on how many dependents you've got that are attached to that little SNAP card that you've got, there is actually amazing how much money comes in for absolutely no work to get it, which means that you're not, looking at the meat counter, the meat section over at the grocery store going, well, can't afford the steak, so maybe I'll just get me some pork chops or chicken wings or something like that. No. Now you got the SNAP card. You're not working for any of that money, so it's going to be T-bone steaks all weekend long.
Yeah, there are people like that.
We're going to have lobsters.
There are people like that, definitely, and I've seen them. But there are also a lot of hardworking folks out there that are really struggling. I mean, look at the cost of living, the price index. I think I've spoke to you a couple of times last year regarding that. When you know that your dollar used to be worth 70 cents and today it's at 47 cents. I mean, that should tell you how much poorer people have become simply due to inflation.
So what happens when we've got more money chasing after fewer products?
Well, that's going to be another topic of discussion. Right now, I'm really concerned with the rush to fix things, but are we to rush, or are we really to figure out other ways of closing that gap? I mean, there were a lot of talks regarding the Jones Act. Let's get it excluded, because literally it's arm and legs to ship anything, and food is not cheap to transport to Guam. I mean, those cases of spam, they're very heavy, and you pay a top dollar.
Well, but I try to look at it in terms of what can we do as a humane society here to be able to reduce the expense burden, that cost of living that you're talking about on the people. An examination of the Jones Act will always be appropriate for us in Hawaii and Alaska, et cetera. And I think that should be among the primary goals of the administration and the legislature and Jimmy Moylan, to see what can be done about it, to keep that conversation alive. I don't hold out a lot of hope for it, because we've been fighting, we've been tilted at that windmill for a long time, and it doesn't seem to budge. And bigger names than ours have tried to do something about the Jones Act and have been unsuccessful over the years. So yeah, let's keep talking about that. But while we're waiting on that, can we take some of the money that we have and make a real serious investment into mass transit? If people did not have to worry so much about owning a car, making car payments, paying insurance on the car, putting fuel in the car every couple of weeks. If they did not necessarily have that burden, or maybe we reduce the burden of the number of cars in a family and let the kids go ride mass transit buses and go to car instead of mom picking them up at car line at school and then taking the kid to ballet or another kid to tennis or another kid to this. You know what? You leave the school, go to the nearest bus stop, you ride that. And that way, mom doesn't have to spend money on gasoline to drive you all over God's green earth. Maybe there are ways that we can look at the amount of money that we're asking people to spend on groceries and medicine and baby supplies, and invoke a tax holiday on those things. The government of Guam is getting rich because I got to eat. And there's we have the conversation, but it doesn't seem to go any further than the legislature. If we can help with the expense side, maybe there will be fewer people clamoring for higher wages that are probably going to be more ruinous than they are advantageous to the consumers, to the wage earners.
Yeah, absolutely. You actually hit the nail with the the mass transport, because that was my experience when I was growing up. Nobody was dropping me to school. I was taking a bus, and it was very inexpensive for me to do so. Well, we could definitely think about expanding the services, because right now it's a nightmare. I have people that I know that are relying on mass transit, and many times I actually see them on the road waiting, and I'll just pick them up. And hey, where are you going? It's insane. I mean, we live on an island where you cannot afford to not have a car. you can't go even to the grocery store. You can't go from your house to let's say Costules or Payless unless you have a transportation. How about all those manamcos that don't drive?
Yeah.
Their kids or grandkids, they're working. There's no babysitters for the manamco. So I mean, we need to really sit down and think how to do that beyond the bigger picture, the Jones Act, which is also very important. You hit that on. You hit that.
Well, I mean, there's others. We can continue to encourage efficiencies at the in our utilities. So they're talking about increasing the price to take trash from my house now. In the next couple of years, they want it up around $42 a month. $42 a month. I'm going to have a serious conversation with the accountant at my house. Oh wait, that's me. And I might call GSWA and say, listen, I will figure out something else, but I ain't paying you $42 a month to swing by the house once a week and pick up my trash.
Well, I don't know how they're basically calculating all those fees. Could it be that the price of gasoline has increased as well for the trucks to be coming? I mean, there must be a reason, but there are certain things that the government can surely do, and that is decrease itself in size. I mean, look at all those raises that happen. Of course, it's a nice dream to have. Can we shrink the government? But I hope that next election people actually pay attention and start electing people who actually have been doing something about decreasing that. And let's
you know what we need more people like you in the legislature. We need more people that have run businesses that understand how the real world works. Not the view from
the numbers don't lie. The budgets are there for a reason.
Yeah.
If you don't follow your budget, then you're under, and then you close down. But that, of course, it's not the case in the case of government, because they know that they can raise their taxes to sustain themselves, and that is the tragedy.
Absolutely correct. As usual, I find myself agreeing with every word that comes out of your pretty mouth. Bistro, I'm going to let you run. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Ray, for taking my call.
Always a pleasure. It's at 9:51. You get one call on the air, and then everybody else wants to talk. Johnny Utah's on the line. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Ray. Half a day.
Half a day. Long distance from Utah. Hey, you know what I heard about Utah?
What'd you hear?
Pornhub doesn't work in Utah anymore.
Really?
I'll
have to look into that. I don't go to Pornhub.
I don't know anything about that, Ray. What do you mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pornhub.
I don't want.
Now I got to tell the story. It's all right. I'm not going there. We got time. It's Pornhub now opens on devices in the Beehive State with a message saying the company, quote, has made the difficult decision to completely disable access to our website in Utah. Utah apparently has implemented an age verification law requiring websites with adult content to obtain age verification every time somebody tries to access the site. And folks over at Pornhub said, yeah, no. So they just put a geofence around the entire state.
Good. It needs to be that way.
Well, I'm just saying. There's other people that might have other ways to, I identify, I hate pornography. I hate all that stuff, but I identify as a pervert. No, I don't know.
Well, hey, I wanted to chime in. I was in Indiana, in Indianapolis, not too long ago, and
Pornhub still works there.
Restaurant. Huh?
Said Pornhub still works there.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I didn't check that there. But, my family owns a restaurant there, and while I was in the restaurant, Mike Braun, the senator that represents Indiana, was in the restaurant, and he's friends with my aunt. I got to sit down and talk with him, and I actually brought up Guam and the Jones Act to him, and Mike Lee's bill that got smashed by the Democrats, which was the Shipping Act. And, there's just not enough awareness in the mainland of how hard and bad the Jones Act is for Guam and not in all the territories and in Hawaii and Alaska. I just don't think there's that much of awareness. He was aware of it, but I opened his eyes up to the reality of how that affects Guam and the people of the Marianas.
And I can't say that's a bad thing. That experience that you have is a bad thing. Most people, you ask me about some of the problems that you might be having in Utah, and I would be completely clueless about them. You remember when we had all those supply chain issues and the delays, and how many of them were actually caused by weird, wonky policies on what kind of vehicles can operate within this area of the port of Los Angeles or Long Beach. What kind of vehicles? They got to be a certain age, and they've got to have a certain kind of, smog efficiency and crap like that. And all of a sudden, you've got this funnel now into fewer and fewer vehicles to be able to move everything off the docks and onto chassis or onto trains to be distributed further down the country. I mean, those are real issues, and most people don't understand that most places have got something like that actually hampers progress and hampers trade. The Jones Act is just our flavor of it out here.
Well, yeah, but that's pretty significant. That's a pretty significant flavor. I would say that's like all the Baskin-Robbins flavors in one.
Yeah, but how much do you care about what the cost of a can of Molson's is in Alaska?
Well, granted, yeah, I don't have any family in Alaska, so I get your point.
So yeah, I get it, and everybody will look at it and say, "Oh, that's too bad." I met Representative Lisa Murkowski. She was here on Guam reaching out and doing some business, hanging out and saying hello to some Alaska Native corporations that were out here. It's the one behind Horse and Cat. We were in the warehouse there having a great time. A lot of fun folks, and great conversation. And one of the things that we all agreed on was, the Jones Act sucks for Guam. Jones Act sucks for Hawaii. Jones Act sucks for Alaska. Murkowski is a name. People know who she is in Washington, D.C. and in Congress. And I also want to say she might have been at the time in the right party if there was going to be some change to effect. But even with her big name from her big state and the Aloha State, there ain't no traction to get rid of the Jones Act.
I know. Well, there was. Mike Lee had tabled a bill in the Senate. I talked about that earlier to you. I sent you the document on it, but the Democrats smashed it.
Well, they must be all in with the shipping companies then.
Of course, everybody.
The shipping companies and the manufacturers. It's got to be an American ship. It's got to be an American ship, and we build that to our own standards. Never mind, what the current latest and greatest is, and from the other great ship builders around the world that are making larger and more efficient ships to be able to ply the oceans.
Well, the pyramid scheme will come to an end. It always does.
I don't know. This thing's been knocking around here since the beginning of the last century.
True, but it's greatly affected. It's had more of an effect with an A than in the last 20 to 30 years than it did before that.
Well, there's, as I said, there's groups that have been, trying to do something about the Jones Act for years. There was a time that the government of Guam spent countless millions of dollars involved in a lawsuit to eliminate the Jones Act and failed at that over the course of many, many years. The only people that made any money on that was the lawyers, if you know what I mean. Johnny Utah,
yeah.
Always a crazy pleasure talking with you. Maybe I'll hear you this afternoon on Tall Tales.
Can I say one more? Can I say one more thing?
You have 90 seconds.
Can I ask for some prayers for my wife's auntie? She's at GRMC. She had a stroke. Her name's Remy Martinez.
Absolutely. Not a problem. I'm glad to get that information. While you've mentioned that, it got me thinking, and somebody asked me to help promote this medical fundraiser for Charlene Mano. This is going to be taking place on Saturday the 13th, 6 until 10 at Club Icon. $10 a ticket, and it'll include water, soda, domestic beer, etc. They're going to have poo-poos, all kinds of other stuff. So if you know Charlene Mano or related to her, or maybe just looking for somebody to go and help out, Club Icon on the 13th, medical fundraiser for her out there. Happy to get information like that and put it on the air. My friend Valerie, while I'm thinking about it, Johnny, I'm going to let you run. My friend Valerie sent me a thing here, and I said, I want to talk about this because I'm talking about fundraisers for the Academy girls. So now I got to do one for the Notre Dame class of 2026.
Woo!
Even though they're boys and girls now at Notre Dame, I forget. And this is going to take place on Sunday. Circle K in Sinania. Only $5 for the car wash. It'll go from 9 until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll leave this up on the screen so you can get the deets and get your car all messy and then go hang out with the Notre Dame class of 2026 and get the car clean. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, the radio station KUSG. I got you 93.3 where peak is best. This is The Point. Stand by now for Fox News Live. For Johnny and Donna and the pre-recorded Jerry Roberts, my name is Ray Gibson saying thanks so much for listening. Catch you Thursday.
Accounted for. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. One of 4 Mississippi inmates who escaped jail last week has been found dead at a truck stop.
The sheriff of Hinds County says police in New Orleans were called to reports of an unresponsive man in a truck on Sunday. He had died, and Sheriff Tyree Jones says he's been identified as Casey Grayson. The sheriff says they do not suspect foul play and that narcotics and drug paraphernalia were found in the vehicle. He was one of 4 inmates who escaped over a week ago from the Raymond Detention Center jail through a hole in the roof. Jerry Raines was captured in the Houston area last week and was on his way back to Mississippi. Dylan Arrington was killed after he barricaded himself in a home and set it on fire. Sheriff Jones says inmate Corey Harrison is still at large.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.